Walk to you so I can be close to you. It's really simple if you look at it that way. Time that we get by with money we don't know. Pockets empty but hearts are full anyway. Hey, playing like children and love like orange. You were too good for me, but I wanted you anyway. I always loved you over my head, even when you lived alone to make your parents mad. Say goodbye to your old life, turn the page, fall on my bed. I don't care if loving you over my head. You talk to me like breeze, running free, beautiful images everywhere. Yeah. You take a picture of us kissing in cars, it makes my day 10 times better. Yeah, playing like children and love like orange. You were too good for me, but I wanted you anyway. I always loved you over my head, even when you lived alone to make your parents mad. Say goodbye to your old life, turn the page, fall on my bed. I don't care if loving you over my head.
Welcome back, college esports fans. Sorry about that short little hiccup we had there. Hopefully you can all hear me now. You are tuning in to the Pac-U Rocket League Invitational Week 6 of 6. That is to say, the final week, the big one, grand finale, as it were. So, that being the case, as we do every week so far, we have 5 best of 5 Rocket League matches here for you tonight. These ones are a bit spicier than normal, though, just because this is the last chance for these teams to really come out swinging, bring home some W's for their school, and all of that wonderful, university pride stuff. But let's tell you about the matches. Our opener, headliner for the night, University of Utah versus Oregon State University. Match number 2, Arizona State University versus the University of Washington. And match number 3, we have the University of Colorado going head-to-head with Washington State University. Match number 4, University of Arizona versus Stanford University. And for match number 5, University of Southern California versus University of California, Berkeley. I don't know what a Uniforia but is. Anyway, 5 matches. Opener, which we're getting ready for here pretty quickly, it's gonna be the Utes up against the Beavers, and that's gonna be, honestly, I think a really exciting match. If you only watch like the first 3 weeks of Pac-U show matches, you might have some interesting opinions about the relative strength of these teams. Utah in their opening weeks went up against some of the best of the best in the whole tournament. They went against ASU for 5 games. They went 5 matches up against Colorado Boulder. Meanwhile, OSU, they started their season up like 3-0, cleaning their way through opponent after opponent, which kind of these led to maybe some perceptions that the Utes didn't quite have as much gas in the tank as people thought, and that OSU was kind of this hot up-and-comer. But weeks 4 and 5, the fortunes of these teams were reversed pretty significantly. Now, Utah's on a bit of a roll, and OSU's in a bit of a slump, and it's really, that's kind of going to be one of the stories of this match here is going to be, okay, which side of the schedule is the reality for these two teams when they come head to head? Who had the most honest schedule after all? And, what we're gonna find out. I think this is gonna be a really good one. Hard to say. I wish my good buddy Sam Chartreuse was here. The OSU man himself, to stand across from my Utah self. We could the potential for banter would have been incredible. Unfortunately, it's with the Thanksgiving break coming up. Okay, never mind. We're into the match. We can be sad about Chartreuse later, but now let's be excited about this. Alex Walters trying to start things up early on the offense for Utah. But OSU does kind of take control here, keeping a possession going. Here's Scoot setting it at midfield, trying to work with Private Boy, but Walters dribbling it up, kind of playing the game here, drives it right on in. Just catches OSU bad on their rotation. Scoot was alone in goal, and he tried to boost back in to intercept there, but because Walters plays it kind of slow there, like Scoot was ready for Walters to just like make a break for it, but because Alex ends up playing it a little slow, he lets Scoot push up too much and then drives it in once he has to turn around. I think very well played. Typhoon, however, that's just no fancy mind games there. That is just 1-2 setup. Potatoes off the backboard. Typhoon was ready to receive, chips it in the upper left hand 90. That is just clean. Utah off to a very good start here in the opening 30 seconds. That said, Walters pushing up on offense again. Scoot trying to clear the ball out. Typhoon doesn't make it easy. Off the diagonal wall. Still looking for a clear. Here's Private Boy, can't get it over Potatoes. Walters coming in fast. He wants the finish. He gets a demo, but Scoot gets the save, keeps OSU vaguely closer. Whoa, never mind. Typhoon up off that upper crossbar. That is just fancy. So Wicked Potatoes serves it up. Typhoon flicks it down towards goal, and Private, he has to go for that touch. He does, because otherwise it's just going to roll in. But it ends up hitting just the inside edge of his car and goes the way of the goal again. OSU, whoa! Potatoes, I mean, the man had like 3 really good assists in a row. Apparently felt like just getting his name up in lights right there. That was... So, being the setup man is great and all. Being the guy who gets the RBI is wonderful, but every now and again, even the most dedicated setup man wants to go for the dunk himself, wants to get the home run. And yes, I'm mixing my analogies, but hey, Scoot, not mixing anything up in goal, gets another important save. I mean, this is a tough spot for OSU. No dressing that one up. Down 4 goals in a minute and a half. It's difficult, but the very virtue of the fact that this lead exists is proof that it can kind of be brought back from Walters. Now the one force on the defense as Scoot make an offensive play here. Parson Knife sends it to the diagonal wall, cross in front of the goal. Gets in there close, but the clear out from Utah is good. Here's Typhoon off the walls. Can Walters finish? He can! That is a 5 for the University of Utah. But still, OSU, they have 3 minutes to work with. Utah established this lead in the span of 2 minutes. So, you know, just the way that works out, if OSU just completely reverses the script at the drop of a hat, then it shouldn't be any problem at all for them to kind of rack up that counter lead. That would take a pretty dramatic reversal of fortunes here. I mean, Walters and Typhoon have been just absolute machines today. Walter just keeps making these great plays around just the midfield, converting things. Hold on, Private Boy, just... There we go. There you go. That is certainly a start. Okay, so that ends up going. Scoot plays it off the wall, rolls it back, and just, yeah, Utah caught deep on the offense there. I don't quite say I blame them. They were on a 5-goal streak, sure. Commit to offense, keep the party going, but that can come back to bite you if you don't remain diligent throughout the course of the game. Because here's OSU on another fast break. Potatoes more prepared this time. Doesn't let that follow-up happen. As now, things are a little dicey. Walters forced on the defense again. OSU, they've had a pretty good minute for themselves in the goal save. Typhoon and Walters combining there. Potatoes driving it up, carrying it towards goal, rolls it over. Scoot. Oh, that is fancy right there. Basically, one man shows, juggles it up, and just bounces it before Scoot was there. Certainly, Utah is playing with fire a little bit. I think that is undeniable. They're playing a little fast and loose, but that is a luxury afforded to you when you open up like 3 goals in the first minute and keep expanding that kind of trajectory. And there you go. 7 for Utah, and we still have almost 2 more minutes of game in this one for us. Just shift on over. OSU, in their opening weeks, they had these really brilliant offensive setups. They came out against teams like Stanford, like USC, I believe, and they just like put on these clinics of maintaining long periods of possession and just not letting the opposition near their goal. But that kind of style, while certainly good for getting points, it's apparently proven a little difficult for OSU to kind of run that same kind of plan up against Utah here. And their goal, which was previously just kept safe by their sheer offensive momentum, is now kind of struggling. We've seen teams in tight places before, but normally we see them really double down on in-goal saves, but that just doesn't feel like OSU's style or how they really want to play the game, and it's hurting at the moment. Still, best of 5. Got the chance to kind of change the pacing and momentum. They have gotten some good stuff here. I mean, in just the last 30 seconds or so, they had these pretty swell little possessions for themselves. Didn't quite convert into goals, but they have shaped up in the second half of this game 1. I think if they come into game 2 with a bit more, a bit closer to this level of energy, they will be setting themselves up for a better chance of victory. But as we are at the 30-second marks, Utah up 6 goals. Walters trying to make it 7. Taps it down. Nope, just ends up floating in too slow. Private Boy was ready. Hold on, Utah with the open goal. Private Boy looks like he's going to be ending the game on an OSU goal. A small, maybe admittedly ceremonial victory there for the Beavers, but I'd say that's a good one. Sometimes you need those little victories in extended sets. Here's Scoot looking to play the back wall. We are sub 10 seconds. Typhoon and Parsnipes fighting for possession. Potatoes ends up flying under the ball here. Can Scoot get one more? No, Walters carries it on out, deflects off the ground. Kept up in the air by Parsnipes, sent out by Utah. Private Boy gets the connect. It's flying out towards the ground. There it is. The University of Utah take game number 1. And whew, boy, did they take that game. Thanks, production. Okay, so several interesting things were going on in that one. First off, we kind of see the patented Utah special. Their opening minutes have this tendency to be very, very explosive. Wicked Potatoes in particular has a certain history of just getting these sub 20-second goals just like off the kickoff, going straight into a play, and that we saw that come out. What wasn't Potatoes particular, but the team as a whole does it. Just one name in particular stood out to me from past experience. So they come out strong. They try to establish these early leads and hold on to them. They tend to get, when they are in trouble, it's towards the end, towards the not really towards the end, more like around the midpoint, around minute 2 or 3, when they get themselves ahead. Sometimes they lose the steam. There can be a tendency to kind of be like, okay, we're up 2 goals, we're chilling, and things get turned around on them in those moments, and then they struggle to kind of turn things back around in the last minute when things are looking tough. And we also saw a little bit of that. OSU, they got their fancy breakaway plays, and that was a good look for them. But now they have to be ready. OSU, they got some ground under them in the second half of game 1. But if they want to stay competitive in game 2, they have to be ready for that kind of hyper early opener from Utah and not let themselves fall behind in those early moments, so that when that second half of the game comes around, they're in a more competitive position here. So here's Scoot playing it off the ceiling. Get in. Little dicey. There's Walters. He's gonna drive it along the lower wall here. Private is able to disrupt. Typhoon was ready for the follow-up. Scoot can't get there in time. Now Typhoon looking for the setup. Rolls it in front of the goal. Great push away by Parsnipes. Now pushes Utah back on defense. Parsnipes tries to finish his own setup. Walters works into a tough save. Scoot setting up the man. Parsnipes getting the opening goal for OSU. So important when you had such a difficult game number 1 there. Like I said, Scoot set that up, and he did. But like that play starts with Parsnipes on the save, and then it gets extended by Parsnipes playing it off the wall, setting it to Scoot, and then following up and like getting the rebound shot. So there were like 4 important maneuvers that OSU had to do to make that goal happen, and Parsnipes had his name on 3 of them. That is pretty good math, as it were. Very, very impressive opening play. And that's what we see sometimes when teams in bad spots kind of make comebacks and make these kind of turnaround stuff happen. It's often off the back of one player just unleashing the beast, as it were, answering the call and rising to the challenge. And maybe Parsnife's gonna be that guy for OSU here. It has put them in the lead. Typhoon sends it outright white. Walters continues it up to the ceiling. Gonna play it off the backboard here. Disruption coming through from Private Boy. Typhoon trying to keep that possession going, but Scoot flips it on back, and now Utah is rotating on defense. Can the Beavers do with this one? Potatoes ends up rolling up over the corner. Scoot sends it back to Parsnipes. Up high to the ceiling. Walters sends it to the middle, but defense was ready from Private. Here's Potato off the diagonal. Ends up hitting off an OSU player. Sent up. Walters to contest. Sends it out to Potatoes. Can he center it for Typhoon here? Doesn't quite get the momentum. They might finish it with a slow touch, though. Walters comes back in, but OSU has turned the momentum. Utah, they have to get back quickly, because OSU, they're already here. Potatoes in goal. What can he do? Gets it to the wall, carries it away from Parsnipes, and now ball on OSU's side of the pitch. 2 minutes left, a much slower scoring affair here in game number 2, and OSU, the benefactors of it. Here's Private Boy, ball at midfield. Scoot ready to receive. Typhoon takes it over the top. Sent out by Private. He's carrying it up against Walters, who does turn things a bit, but the OSU offense was ready to persist. Here's Private. There's the backboard. Can there be a finish? Not gonna be available. Utah now have a chance to set themselves up an offense. Walters going for the aerial carry. Forces Private to make that stop. Parsnipes carries the ball away to relative safety. Here's Potatoes to the wall. Cleared out by Private. Walters taps down. That's on target. Hold on, defenders. We're not ready for that. AEW tying it. 1-3-1. Game number 2. Still anybody's contest. Ooh, okay. Our team's already starting to show some adaptations. As the Typhoon looking for a fast breakaway. Gets it to the backboard. Scoot stabilizes, but he does not clear things out. Whoa. OSU caught on the back foot. Okay, Scoot gets a good touch there, but Parsnipes was clearly rotating away. He felt he had a bad angle. He wanted to turn around, but he was the only person in any kind of position to stop Walters, who just gets the angle dead on. It was kind of like goals from that like far corner can feel a bit hard, because it feels like you can only shoot in a straight line or you'll hit the wall, but you also have to hit it at a diagonal to make the ball actually go in. But Walters kind of walks that line and gets it done to put the Utes up ahead. One going with 1 minute to go. OSU feeling the pressure. This is week 6, folks. You don't want to be going into the... Whoa! Okay. Walters putting a bow on things right there. Game number 2, the momentum has turned quickly. Utah kind of just finding a hot spot. 3 goals in fairly rapid succession for themselves. Really turns OSU's starting pace on its head. And now the Beavers, they have to either pull out some magic or they are going to go into game 3 of their final Pac-U show match at like a match point disadvantage here. They showed some great stuff early, but just couldn't keep it going. Private Boy, okay. Started to find it. That's good stuff. All right. 2 goals now for OSU. 1 would tie it. It was a tough order. They needed to score 2 goals. 30 seconds allotted for each one, and well, they are technically on pace to tie things up. I no longer feel like either team can sit comfortably. 30 seconds is more than enough for 1 goal to happen either way. Now, Walters sends a shot up. Private Boy to the backboard. Not going to be able to find anything. OSU now on defense. 10 seconds left. They have to keep this up in the air or game 2 will go to the Utes. But it's Walter in control of the ball, letting it ride off the backboard. Typhoon sends it to the back corner. Potatoes tips it off the crossbar to the ground. Utah take game number 2. A much closer contest. A much lower scoring battle of car wheels. But it is Utah pulling ahead either way. But OSU I absolutely could be a little disheartened, but probably should not be excessively so. They have shrunken kind of the deficit significantly from game one. Game one was just rough. Game two, they come out, they get the opening lead, they keep it much more competitive. They do fall behind, but they do answer back as well. So it's not just a matter of hot or cold. They perform from ahead, they perform from behind. But now game three, this could be OSU's final match in this Pac-U Invitational. And, well, it is their final match. Could be their final game. Important distinction here in a best of five. Will it be a grand victory that extends the series, or will it be a bitter defeat leading in a 3-0 kind of finale here for Utah? Well, we're just gonna have to find out here, and I am so thrilled for it. Both squads have come out and done some incredible stuff. Game three could be upon us. This could be it, folks. Utah trying to end their final Pac-U show match on a highlight shutout performance. OSU fighting for their lives. And not a bad opener when you're fighting for your lives here. OSU with the opening possession, trying to make the backboard plays. Potato slow playing the defense, trying to set up off the backboard for Walters, but Private gets an important aerial deflection there to stop the 1-2 punch, but Potatoes chips it in anyway. I'm really excited to see the defense. Okay, so Typhoon sets it up, defense was ready, and the man, Potatoes, was just ready at the half court. OSU, they got a touch in that corner. They slowed the ball down. They sent it back Utah's direction, which is usually the correct way to keep it away from your goal. Unfortunately, the problem with clearing the ball towards Utah is that's where the Utes are. And Potato was ready to intercept. Typhoon just does it to him. All right. Sets himself up off that back wall, and the ball just bounces. OSU caught straight up flat-footed in the goal. This is their invitational, lives on the line. They need a little bit of help. Someone in that comms channel has to be finding their center, as it were, because they can't let this kind of start happen to them again. It was tough the first time. It was rough game one, but game three would just be a heartbreaker. All the same. Okay, here's Private Boy trying to set up an offense here in the corner. Walters disrupts. Typhoon continues the breakaway. Scoot plays it off the backboard. Gets the save. Can they find the clear? Walters ends up flying under. Potatoes gets it on target. Private with another save. That's a man who's been behind a lot of OSU's success. Keep an eye on him. As they try to run this back. Hold on, is that one going in? It is! Snipes! I mean, earning that Snipes part of the name. Walters goes for a relatively safe clear. And then Potatoes, he gets right on in, but just barely not fast enough. That's a tough one for the Utes, but OSU find a pulse just in time. They're keeping the score deficit at a manageable amount relative to the time clock. But can they tie it up? Can they take the lead? Remains to be seen, and here's Potato with the forward drive. Private gets the save, but Typhoon with the follow-up shot! Oh, that one is just nasty. That is one of the scariest things about going up against this Utah team. Like, you can't look at any one player and say, okay, we have to shut that guy down. That guy is, quote-unquote, the problem. Listen, if you just try too hard to play, if you just try to, like, go with the old, like, basketball paradigm, put your best defender on their best offensive player and just tell them to shut this man down, like, that's just not going to work against Utah, because all three of them are juggernauts on all parts of the field, coming together to make some absolutely fantastic plays happen as a unit here. That gives them the advantage of being up 2 goals in what could be the match-winning game. Here's Typhoon rotating back after. Offensive push does get held up by OSU. Alex Walters with the answer, has wrestled back control right in it through the corner, gets it past Scoot. Can he finish? Ball goes up, it slows down. It's gonna be Private and Scoot leading the way for OSU. Walters does get disrupted. There's Scoot, gets it in front of the goal. Follow-up wasn't quite there. Hold on, Typhoon alone towards the goal. No! Private Boy was secretly there all along. Important save. 2 minutes, 2-goal deficit, not insurmountable. 3-goal deficit in 2 minutes. That starts to become demoralizing very fast. But the time is not on OSU's side right here. They have possession, but they need to convert it into goals pretty quickly. As Private looking to do just that, drives it forward. Walters has the answer. Parsnipes with the kind of the bounce back, looking for the turnaround. Utes could still be in control. Private Boy says, puts a negation on that thesis. Whoa! Typhoon makes a very difficult deflection there to keep the lead where it is. We've been scoreless for a little while here, folks. Can Wicked Potatoes flip that narrative? Typhoon ends up getting their name on it. Long setup pass from Potatoes, carries it across the court. Typhoon was just ready, gets the fortunate bounce off that bottom left-hand corner there, and does push Utah up to a very commanding lead. This is the 11th hour now. 3 goals, match 3. If OSU, it has to be now. As here comes Scoot pushing his way up the left hand side, gets it to cross in front of the goal, but a follow-up wasn't quite there. Private Boy does get a touch, keeps OSU in possession, but with 2 demos against them, Typhoon full court shot maybe? No. Potatoes is going to take it, try to do a little setup play, but he has 2 defenders to work with. Scoot denies that one. 30 seconds on the game clock. Ball currently on Utah's side of the pitch. Potato receives. Scoot disrupts the possession, but can't turn the momentum of the ball around. Here's Parsnipes. Typhoon sends it to the backboard. Down off the crossbar. Walters looking for just one more. Not quite going to find it. 10 seconds on the play here. Potatoes taking it in. There's, whoa, Parsnipes making a risky little save right there. Is able to do it. Tries to dribble it past the defender. If the ball touches the ground, it's all over, folks. Now, here's Snipes trying to keep it in the air. Scoot gets to it first, carrying it up, bounces it up. Potatoes deflects it away. That's it. It goes to the ground. Utah, game number 3, win their week 6 show match in a impressive and very commanding fashion. Oh, I mean, just a brilliant display from both teams. Really, I was thoroughly impressed by the level of play that came out on both sides there. Very exciting way for both teams to kind of finish their respective runs within the Pac-U Invitational. Utah does find the win, and honestly, hard to point at an MVP. Typhoon had a fantastic game. Walters had a fantastic time. Wicked Potatoes was on fire the entire duration. Just the whole team came together in magnificent fashion. But as this is gonna be kind of the last game for all of these teams, I do want to give certainly props to OSU as well. A very young program. This was their first semester having a Rocket League team, and these guys came out in a big way across the whole invitational. They found some very impressive victories, some very commanding wins in weeks past, and I think they have a lot to be proud of for kind of what they have accomplished in such a short amount of time. I've been very impressed with them since week 1. I think they should. And also, I just want to thank them for coming out and playing, giving us fantastic matches. Similar sentiments to the Utes as well. It is always an honor to cast for you guys. And It's been a delight, but that is match number 1 concluded. Again, thank you to both teams for it. But we have 4 more coming up next. ASU up against UW. You won't want to miss this one, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a short break.
Dancing on the my compass was wrong, and I'm still on my way closer to where I belong. I'm still rolling the dice, praying sometimes it don't last it long. I'm losing my faith, I'm walking away from what you knew all along. Mama told me before you leave, if there's only one thing you remember from me, child, when you're out on your own, a million miles from home, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. Child, don't forget who you are, don't lose your head or your heart. I'll bet my life on your stars, you'll be dancing, dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. On the moon. When you're out on your own, a million miles from home, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. Child, don't forget who you are, don't lose your head or your heart. I'll bet my life on your stars, you'll be dancing, dancing on the moon.
Quiet's driving me insane. Silence rattles in my brain. Yeah, I gotta get away. Always waiting for the fall, so I built my towers tall, wandering through these empty halls. Break the cycle now, walls are coming down. I gotta make it out. Yeah, 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 yeah. Look my fear right in the eye. I just wanna feel alive. I just wanna feel alive. I just wanna feel I gotta save me from myself. This emptiness, it hurts like hell. My good intentions let me down. I keep getting in my way. My stubborn pride will dig my grave. Please hit me hard with every step I take. Yeah, cycle down, walls are coming down. I gotta make it out. Yeah, 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 yeah. Look
Welcome back, College Esports fans. My wonderful co-caster for the evening has arrived. Go ahead, introduce yourself, friend.
Hi, I'm Hydra K9, also Caleb. I'm really excited to be here tonight.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in there. There was only so much talking to myself I could do before my therapist started asking questions. So, that said, we got 4 more matches here, and the next one is going to be a pretty good one from where I'm sitting, Arizona State University up against University of Washington. How are you feeling about this match, Hydra?
Well, I mean, I have to keep all biases aside because I do go to University of Washington, but I am very excited about it. Love watching UW play. Seen a couple of ASU's games. They're definitely not someone to be, I guess, to roll over or anything like that for. It's definitely going to be a good set of games.
For show. I mean, you probably know more about kind of Washington's program than I do here. Do you have any idea how long has this Rocket League been together? How many of the players have been with it, been going at it for a while? What's that landscape look like?
I mean, I know they've been a team for a little while now. They played together last year. They've been playing in lots of tournaments together, lots of games. So they definitely have a good feel for each other, and watching them play, they work really well together. Lots of good passes, lots of good communication, things like that. Rarely a double commit. So it seems like they've got it together pretty well.
All right. I have to agree from what I've seen and what we're going to see here. Game number 1, fast upon us. And here, the opening kick close at hand. And University of Washington takes it. Here's Vince carrying it towards that upper crossbar. Wizard. Okay. Team colors, I might have had a little flipped up here. Leafy for ASU gets the opening goal.
A very nice touch there, too. A little bit of a pre-flip for that pass, and then Leafy's able to come in and just sink it right in.
Very, very good stuff. ASU has always been a fan of going strong off the kickoff. Very aggressive team in general. As now, Lightning plays it up to his teammate, but instead it's Leafy receiving on the defense. UW trying to get forward 1. Need some rotations back quickly here as, whoa! Another fast goal for ASU. Hydra, what's going on?
I mean, two very quick goals here. It looked like UW got caught on what could have been a double commit there, and Leafy was able to just follow up that clean touch and sink it right in.
Unfortunately, that is what we in the business refer to as the caster's curse. You explicitly mention that the team doesn't double commit much in the pre-match. It's gonna happen to them.
Yeah, I guess so.
Tricks of the trade you will learn in time as kerfuffle at the midfield. Wizard coming forward. Has a little run in with Leafy. Could be a follow-up from Toby. Trying to finish a goal here. But ASU is able to kind of take control. Huskies rotating back on defense. Solid. They can find a clear. Might be... oh, yep. They do. Looking pretty swell.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of keeping it out of their half, trying to clear it out here. ASU just kind of pounding it in over and over again, which is one of the signature trades of UW from what I've seen, just kind of pounding it into that backboard and stealing the boost, and it looks like they're getting it right back tonight.
Certainly, a lot of these teams, when they're playing at their best, boost control and high aggression are reliable pathways to finding victories.
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, getting caught with 0 boosts in the net is pretty anxiety-inducing, because there's really nothing you can do there.
Hey, you kind of feels like you are caught in a Greek tragedy, and you, unfortunately, are the tragic hero. And that moment is ASU trying to get their 3rd of the contest. Not going to be delivered too easily. But here's Wizard rotating back now with Vixie. Carrying it off the wall. Sends out towards midfield. There's Toby, but gets taken away by Lightning. Vince going up top to kind of try and take it away from Wizard. Not super successful. Leafing have a bit of a better go with it. Now Him and Lightning trying to combine together, but Toby has slowed their offensive push down, and we've been scoreless for the longest in this game so far. I just had to say it. It's going. It's going. It's gone. Huskies.
I mean,
get on the board.
I guess that caster curse is going right back because that was a nice little touch right over everyone and able to sink it right into that net.
That is an advanced caster's curse mechanic that we like to cash in here. Helps keep things competitive if you curse things in favor of the team that's currently at a deficit there. Whoa!
Right back.
Yep. Hey, man. Okay, so he sets it up off the wall and just sits there, lets it come back to him. Man, makes it look easy.
Those redirects are real satisfying off those kickoffs.
I half expected him to flip around and do it backwards just for the style points of it.
I mean, with these players' skill levels, they definitely could if they wanted to. Oh, unfortunate.
Vince Lightning. Okay, this man Mountain is off to an absolute tear here, Hydra. If you were kind of the coach for University of Washington here, and you're kind of writing up your notes to talk to them after this game and how to run it back in game 2, what's going through your mind?
I mean, I would definitely tell them to meet those balls in the air a lot sooner. They're kind of letting ASU carry those balls for way longer than they should. They need to be aggressive on that defense and take that possession away. And the other thing is it feels like they're floundering on their defense a little bit, just losing their rotations, panicking, and getting low on boost. So just staying calm and collected and being quick to those balls in the air would definitely help them out here.
Decisiveness goes a long way in this particular contest. Now, Toby has a chance to help his team get some offense going. In one of our last few minutes, here's Wizard goal. Vulnerable, but Lightning ready in wait. Gets an important save for the squad.
Yeah, it's UW kind of giving it back right now with that unrelenting offense. They were able to get it out of their own half and start to get a little bit of that boost control so they don't have to worry about so much aggressive offense from the ASU team.
But now, as we say it, ASU starts to make an offensive play here. Vince gets it off the diagonal. Is found by Toby, so Huskies clear out a little bit. Wizard falling back to try and play the ball as it lands. Gonna go hit that top corner of the playing field as Vince sends it up over his teammate Leafy and Vixie. Lightning gets another touch in there. Oh, UW haven't quite been able to stabilize, but they might turn it into the final moments. Whoa! That ball wasn't going the right direction.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a pool shot there. Somebody bumped into the backside of Vixie, and that was very close to being an accidental own goal.
They do fortunately avoid that one, as it is looking like game number 1 is going to be 4-1 the way of ASU. But it would have been a terrible way to end it with an own goal as well. That is just so bad for morale. Wait, hold on! Leafy gets another. 1 second on the clock. Apparently never too late to score goals around here. ASU move up to 5-1.
I mean, you can always score another goal until that ball hits the ground.
Certainly the case, but now the ball on the ground. Players do get to the touch in time. The clock does stall to let that initial touch happen. As now Vince plays it off the wall, heads up to the ceiling. ASU drive. Hey, Wizard taking advantage of just that very rule you were talking about. Gets a 0-second goal. That is the end of game number 1 here. ASU do take it away for themselves, but it was at least kind of a positive ending for the Huskies there. So they have a little bit of a little wind in the sails, little momentum for game 2, as it were. Hydra, what were you feeling was just the determining aspect of game 1?
I mean, it had to come down to those reaction times. UW just a little slow to those balls, a little bit panicky on the defense, not knowing exactly what they want to be doing. and ASU capitalizing real hard on that and beating them to those balls in the air, beating them to those balls on the ground, and giving them that unrelenting offense that UW is so used to dishing out.
Definitely a big one. Game number 2 starting off very quickly here as now Vixie starting things off for the Huskies. Lightning has switched possessions here, but he was ready to kind of receive there. ASU flicks it back towards goal. Will not be going in, but got a little close for the Huskies' comfort there.
What's your opinion on Vixie's Batmobile choice here?
I mean, the best collegiate Rocket League player I ever knew was insistent on always using the Batmobile, so I will always respect the selection. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice in my opinion. It definitely has the benefit of getting a lot of power on those flicks. As I say that, he was just about to score that one. But back to my point, it has the benefit of getting a lot of power on those flicks, but it definitely is hindered in the 50-50 department. A lot of those balls kind of sailing over the top of your car.
I mean, do you feel like a vehicle changeup is called for given the state of affairs?
I mean, play with whatever you're comfortable with. Don't let anyone tell you what car is the best car, but it could be helpful, especially with those balls on the ground that they've been kind of struggling with, to get rid of those slim, fat cars and maybe go for more of a taller hitbox like the Octane.
On the table here as Leafy goes for his second of the game. Not gonna get converted into a goal. Okay, kind of a uncharacteristic low-scoring game for both these teams. Both kind of proud of their offense. To go almost 2 minutes now without scoring is kind of hard to believe.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely unexpected. A nice demo there. I'm a big fan of those demos, especially ones as difficult to pull off as those mid-air ones. But yeah, definitely a lot closer this game in the offensive back and forth than it was last game for sure.
ASU set a high bar, and so far Washington is rising to meet it here. Wizard could actually be flying over it. That one's going off the corner. Could they get the finish? Vince gets a critical save and demo. ASU not out of the woods just yet. Okay, now they are out of the woods, but can they kind of put UW in the woods themselves? Able to do so. Lightning looking like the big bad wolf out here. Gets the opening goal for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, I think that just kind of resulted from UW being a little bit too anxious to score that goal. They saw so many opportunities with that ball bouncing in front of the net, and they committed that last player with that demo on the ASU side, putting that other player all the way back, and it really opened that net up for a counterattack from ASU.
Still, this could be their counterattack right there. Vixie almost gets that one on target. Instead, ASU flip things back. Ben's gonna kind of hang back, waiting out the corner. Flip back by Vixie. They have the power. They can charge this on in there. The man does it. Gets that kind of forward power he needed, and just he is there faster than ASU. Ties the game up.
Yeah, definitely bringing it right back. It's a fun game to watch when they're this close.
Definitely. 2 minutes, and we went from scoreless to tied at 1-1. The stakes have never been higher. I guess if it was game 3 or game 5, stakes would be higher, but within the context of a singular game, pretty high stakes.
And that was a good intercept on that double touch by Vixie there. Those can be really dangerous. They're tough balls to read, so getting to those quick and not giving the other team that opportunity is pretty important.
Lightning sends it to midfield. Goal wide open. Whoa.
I think that was a bit of an own goal redirect right there.
Okay, it was Wizards' touch on it. Looks like just more of a clear gone wrong than anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, now ASU kind of playing from behind again now. But not what they're used to. Lightning could change all of that right here. Wizard gets a critical save. Leafy keeps it going off the backboard. Vince hanging
tough
back for
angle.
ASU. Can he stop the breakaway? Is able to do so. Gets the save. UW not done just yet. Goes to the backboard. Leafy receives it, bounces it over Wizard. Off the ceiling. Could be a scoring opportunity. Toby outward deflection. Keeps them alive for now. Wizard going forward. Demo onto Vixie. That was an intense sequence.
Yeah, that was a really close air dribble there, too. If he had gotten that stuff, it could have been all over for game 2.
Oh, hold up. Hold up. You can't stop for a second with these guys here. Washington Wizard!
Oh my gosh.
Gets the second in a row. That might be the finisher. Washington might have just won game 2.
That was definitely a great 1.5 minutes of Rocket League right there. That was really fun to watch.
It was certainly I mean, this feels a bit like a different University of Washington team. What's the big difference here?
I mean, getting out of those game 1 anxious feelings, that nervousness, getting those shakes out, getting into game 2, definitely your head can be in a whole different spot. Especially if you get a good talking to from your team captain, it can really bring the morale back and put you in a new mindset.
Certainly can be. 7 seconds for ASU to find a miracle, perhaps. Oh, I don't even know if that's enough at this point. University of Washington up 2 here. Could they get 3 just for style? Maybe. Ball still in the air. Gets sent down. All right. Washington run away with that one. Tie the series up 1-1. Speaking of team captain Hydra, who is the team captain for Washington?
It is Wizard, I believe.
Yep. Apparently that stern talking through came through.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely performed much better in game 2 than they did in game 1. They didn't feel so panicky. Maybe they heard through the ethereal plane that get to those balls in the air faster and calm down a little bit, because they definitely showed it in game 2 compared to game 1.
Absolutely could. There were some serious just kind of like flashes of brilliance in there. Keep things competitive, keep things close. And sometimes when you see like a very dominant game 1 from one team and then followed by a game 2 win by the other squad, it can sometimes feel like there was like this undercut to it, like they just barely eked one out. But that was just straight up. Washington had a fantastic go at it, a strong win at that. So yeah, I think they can feel pretty good in game 3.
Yeah, and ASU definitely showed it that game too. I mean, that 1.5 minute sequence that we saw was pretty impressive. It was very back and forth and very fun to watch. So hopefully we get some more of that. Wizard with a double touch attempt. And sunk in by Vixie. Amazing.
Okay, I need the replay on this one. So Wizard just carries it all the way back. ASU, they get the notice to rotate back, but because Vixie puts that leftward direction on the ball. Sorry, that was right. I don't know what I was thinking, saying left, but gets that direction on the ball there, completely takes it away from ASU's ability to defend. Just very well done in those opening seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, that good communication, Wizard letting him know that he's out of boost and can't hit that double, and he's able to come in and just redirect that in from a nice little angle there and finish the job.
So now ASU finding themselves from behind once more. Not a position the Sun Devils are often in, but apparently being a little bit more common here in Week 6 for them. Leafy coming forward, trying to help out Vince on this offense. Plays it off the wall, carries it into the corner, but Washington, they get the clear on out. Things slow, so it's not really a breakaway anymore. Vixie trying to receive and disrupt the clear out from Lightning. Does slow it down. ASU does take possession. Toby with the flip messes up any kind of little offensive setup by the Sun Devils. Demo onto Wizard. That could be an opening for ASU. But because Toby rides it up the wall, that just burns out the demo time, and things are back to parity.
Yeah. I mean, the demo timer's not very long, so when you get those offensive demos, you really got to capitalize quick.
It's a very narrow window to work with. Okay. Here's Lightning, sends it to the top side of the map. Leafy to the crossbar. Wizard, save on out. Now Lightning sends it to Leafy, just under, bouncing in.
Oh,
They need
what a
one more,
save.
they find it.
Oh.
Lightning ties the game.
Dang, I mean, that would have been very impressive if he had gotten that save there. Just a little bit more on that one, and he could have cleared it out of the net, but unfortunately, it bounces down and off that crossbar again.
So now, I mean, both teams currently fighting for match point advantage in game number 4. There's a lot on the line. This is so close right now. Vixie looking to expand it his team's way. Doesn't find the finish, so now it's Vince's opportunity here in the corner. Gets flipped back. The Huskies' direction, as now we're kind of in volleyball mode at the moment. Neither team able to really get any kind of strong control of the ball.
Yeah, possession is the name of the game, especially with once you get up in those ranks and start playing against better players. Keeping that ball close and on top of your card is really important to not giving up that offensive control and letting the other team capitalize.
Wait, hold on. Vince does get it on target. Wizard was ready. Vixie's been demoed. I don't think that's going to be enough time for ASU, but Vince might just air dribble it on in anyway. Wizard ready
very
just
close
in
to the
time. Could there
stuff.
be a rebound shot? Not going to happen.
I mean, that stuff would have been awesome to see. Those are very satisfying and very fun to hit when you just tell the defender no and just slam it into the net anyway, even though they're right in front of you.
So things are really at a dead heat right now. Hydra, what's going to be the kind of the breaking point for either of these squads?
I mean, there it is right there. A hard-to-read ball off that backboard, and another teammate's able to come in and clean up that pass right off that backboard right there. And that's one of the hardest things to read as a defender in net, and uses a lot of boost, so just slamming it off that backboard over and over again can really open it up for a goal opportunity.
Couldn't have said it better myself, and the benefactors of that, ASU with a minute 10 on the clock, push themselves up to a one-goal
like
lead,
another
make
goal.
that 2 breakaway.
Yeah, it looks like UW's just kind of caught on their heels right now. Weren't expecting that goal maybe, and they leave that last man up too high and open that net up for an easy dribble right in.
And then that's just kind of the price you pay sometimes when you commit that heavily to offense. Vince in possession, taps it down to Lightning. They're looking for one more. UW making it pretty difficult for them. Leafy off the backboard. That one! Okay, break that one down for me, Hydra. That was a strange sequence where I'm sitting.
I mean, it was a very good set of passes from ASU here. I mean, Leafy bringing it off that wall, a very nice redirect, and right back to Leafy, who's able to dunk that one in from up above. It was good team play and good communication there that led to that goal.
Does seem to be the case. ASU, after a tough game 2, almost bring themselves to a 4-goal lead. It's going to remain at 3 for the time being. It seems likely that they are going to win this game 3, which will mean Washington going to be at that kind of that match point disadvantage in game 4. What do you imagine is kind of happening in their comms right about now?
I mean, it can definitely be demoralizing once you're in that intense back and forth at 1-1 with not much time left in the match, and then you get that one goal scored on you. So it's probably a lot of uplifting. And as I say that, Wizard sinks one in from range. That was a nice redirect there off the pass from Toby.
Yes,
but
a lovely two-man play.
Yeah, definitely. And back to my point, they're probably picking each other up, letting each other know they can bring it back, because you gotta keep your head in the right space, especially with such a quick-paced and competitive game like Rocket League. It's important to be thinking straight and staying positive.
Absolutely. Zero spare time to be sad here, as we are kind of in spare air time, as it were. ASU push on ahead now, 2-1 in the match. We saw strong stuff in particular. I think Lightning had some fantastic sequences for himself. A lot of good goals came out of his play, but at the same time, Wizard across the way felt like kind of showing why they've got that team captain status for them. Just a number of great setups into some great goals. I really, even with ASU in the favored position, I would not feel comfortable calling this match.
Oh no, not at all. Especially with what we've been seeing in those back and forth sequences. I mean, these two teams are neck and neck. It's good Rocket League to watch when there's such close skill levels from these players.
But now what I find myself asking is, as kind of Washington, they're looking to win kind of 2 games in a row here to end their Pac-U Invitational run on a win. If you had to like, sometimes in these scenarios, an individual player will kind of like wake up, rise to the occasion, as it were. If you had to kind of guess what kind of player for the Huskies has that kind of potential, that power, is there anyone like that for this team?
Oh, I mean they're all like that. They all have the capability to bring the offense when they need to and make those important plays. They're all very competitive and high skilled players that can do what they need to do when the time is called.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it'd be hard to pick.
Well, I guess we're going to find out how well that holds up. Game number 4 should be pretty close at hand. Again, match 2 of 5 of the Pac-U Invitational. We still have a lot of games, even if this match ends here. Although it may not, this could be the first best of 5 of the night. Hydra, do you dare make a prediction?
Oh, it's too close to make a prediction. I mean, I don't want to curse anyone here, and it's definitely important to stay out of it a little bit because they're so neck and neck that one little thing like a bit of karma could really change the pace here.
All right. Well spoken, well said. We've been in this business long enough. You'll know it's always fun to say bold things so that chat can make fun of you when you're horribly wrong. And to that end, I'm going to call for the game 5. I feel it in my bones that it's going to happen. I mean, just what kind of week 6 would it be if there wasn't a game 5 in play? But before that, game number 4 coming at you right now.
Real excited to get into it because this could be what calls it for ASU, or it could be what shows that UW's not willing to go down without a fight.
Yes. Opening possession is going to go the way of Washington. Here's Leafy kind of ready to follow up after Vince's clear on out. And Lightning making that happen. Goes off the diagonal wall. Toby contesting it. Leafy holding back, slowing down the ball, waiting for the rest of his team to rotate in, and there's Lightning rolling up under the ball and taking care of himself right there.
I mean, a really smart choice from Leafy there to just keep that ball close to his car. Like I've been saying, it's something that's so important in high-level Rocket League is that possession. So you can see it, especially when these players get stuck in those corners. They do a great job of keeping that ball close to their car and figuring out what options they have from there.
I feel ASU is kind of just setting up these baton passes really well. Every time one player's kind of like push forward and ends, the next one is right on their tail, and it's allowed them to kind of have this sustained bit of time for about 45 seconds going on a minute. This is the first time Washington has pushed the ball over the goal line since the opener, and what a way to open it! Wizard just... Who needs a long possession when you got a sick breakaway like that?
I mean, the attempted musty ceiling flick, it doesn't work out quite as he wanted, but it was definitely impressive nonetheless.
Certainly. Washington in a do-or-die game. Get the opening goal. It's what they like to see. As now here's Toby going off the backboard. Could he have a second? No, not quite. Not on target, but a fine setup regardless.
Yeah, I mean, Washington's definitely showing it. They're playing like they did at the first half of the last game. I mean, that last half of it was definitely not the same UW that we saw coming into Game 2, but they're definitely back here at the beginning of Game 3.
We'll see if they're able to kind of bring that same intensity for the whole 5 minutes as you do have to. Here comes Vince. Aerial battle goes his way. Help from Leafy. Lightning gonna take it off the wall here. Ball 40 towards goal. Washington was ready. Vince with the flip back. Leafy not really in position to capitalize. Hold on, this could be Lightning going for it. No! Gonna be Toby with an important deflection. They keep denying ASU these shot opportunities. The clears aren't coming easy, though. Leafy's been demoed. That goal is very exposed
Nice
here.
fake.
Hold on. Wizard gets demoed just in time. ASU almost get it. Whoa! The full court turnaround. I'm sorry, in that sequence, Leafy gets demoed. UW gets a full court breakaway for Leafy to respawn just in time to get a save, carry the ball across the field, and score. I mean, benefits of fast travel?
I mean, yeah, you keep that speed up, keep that pace up, and lots of opportunities will present themselves that wouldn't normally be there for a slower player.
And speaking of
as I say that-
opportunities, hold on, Lightning going for it. Ka-chow! Coming in big. ASU from the 1-goal deficit in a time span of sub 20 seconds are now up a goal themselves. What has happened here, Hydra?
I mean, it looks like very similar to what happened to UW in that first game. They had that very close 1-to-1 sequence, and then ASU came back and scored a goal, and then they were caught on their heels. Goal scored nearly as quickly this game as it did last game.
But hold on. Ooh, that was so tough. It really looked like Washington, they were juggling with death there after Vince's kind of go there. Wizard gets a good touch. Vixie does a good thing, but Lightning was ready. And ASU just have a pedal to the metal right now.
Yeah, and I really don't think that was quite the touch that Wizard was looking for there. He probably wanted to keep that closer to his car so he could keep a little bit better control of it, and it kind of resulted in what was almost an own goal and then saved by Vixie and finished by Lightning.
Still, UW, they have a minute 40 to stabilize. Leafy making those kind of like ground ricochets, not making it easy to do that though. There's Toby, 2 defenders in his path, but Vince makes a successful save by doing, by waiting. We'll call that one waiting, as it were. Ball slow down at midfield. Save is there for Washington. Not quite going to be another scoring opportunity for ASU just yet, but man, Huskies in a tough spot here, Hydra.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing that second half UW here after they got that opening goal scored on them from ASU. They just it seems like they might be getting in their own heads a little bit because the playstyle definitely changes after ASU gets a little bit of momentum.
It really does, and I think that's just kind of one of the difficult things about tournaments like these, where you just have to consistently play at such a high level where mistakes are punished so consistently for these extended periods of time. It can make teams crack here. But now, University of Washington in a match make or break game. They've got 30 seconds to pull something out of the hat here. It's Toby looking to do just that, sends it towards goal. Hold on, Vixie might have something. That one's going in. The Batmobile delivers. Huskies might not be out of this just yet.
I mean, that 3-player passing play is so impressive, especially when one of those passes comes all the way off the wall from half immediately to their other player, and they're able to sink it in.
Island just looked positively brilliant here. Toby gets a positive first touch. They don't have any time to waste. They have to take this possession and keep it for the remainder of the time. Get that one more goal within 10 seconds. Here's Vince trying to clear it out away from ASU's goal. 5 seconds for the Huskies here. They need to tie it, keep this in the air. If the ball touches the ground, it's over in favor of the Sun Devils. Here's Vince, he's riding under it. Ball goes up. There needs to be this upward touch from Vixie, but he's been demoed. Toby can't get there in time. ASU win it in game 4.
Oh, so close there at the end for UW. They were teetering on a goal, just keeping it on that backboard, keeping it in that corner, and it just happened to hit the ground. Unfortunate.
Very, very much a tough one. all the same as far as kind of like last games in an invitational go. A 3-2 match where the underdog almost pulls it back in the end. I mean, still good, as good a game as any from where I'm sitting. I think Washington just kind of came out, had a good night, but ASU just had that slightly better one. ASU impressive as always on so many fronts here. Could you identify an MVP for them?
Oh, I mean, Leafy had some amazing plays in that
Oh,
game.
yeah.
I mean, playing some nice double touches, turning them into passes, playing off his teammates well. I would definitely have to give it to Leafy.
Certainly, and very well earned. Always a delight to see Leafy play. Just constantly playing to a level of excellence that is hard to match. That said, again, kind of last matches out from both these teams, so I do want to extend a thank you to both of them for coming out and competing. They've been a delight to watch and have been a part of making the Pac-U the wonderful thing it is.
Yeah, and what a great set of games to end on there too.
Mhm.
I mean, they both played very, very well. It was very impressive.
Certainly. But that is the end of match number 2 here. So we're going to go ahead, start getting ready for the third one. University of Colorado Boulder going head to head with Washington State University. Don't go anywhere. We'll be bringing it to you soon. Welcome back, college esports fans. The Pac-U Invitational returns with match 3.
Yeah, really excited to see the other Washington team play, as well as Colorado. Both fun teams to watch.
Yeah, I
I'm really
imagine you
excited
guys
for
have
it.
like a bit of a rivalry going on up there.
I mean, yeah, there is. People will tell you they're Cougs, or people will tell you they're Huskies, but when it comes down to it, we'll go arm in arm against other states for sure.
Okay, gotcha. So you're probably still on the WSU hype train here. Got to get that Washington superiority established.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, it's hard to say that I'm all for it, but if I had to lean one way, that probably would be it.
Okay. It's always just kind of a fun question asking, which is more important, seeing the school from your state win or watching the rival lose? So I always like to ask.
Yeah, definitely. I think it really comes down to who you are in that scenario. I mean, if you really like to watch the other team burn, then you probably wouldn't be rooting for them too much. But if you got that state pride, then I guess you'd probably be rooting for the other one from your state.
Either way, I think these are two of just some of the highest performing teams in the Invitational that we've seen go head to head. This was my particular, what I expected to be the highlight match of the night. I mean, I don't believe WSU, they haven't dropped a single one of their show matches, which is honestly kind of incredible given just the caliber of talent participating here. Boulder themselves, they only dropped the one up against, well, no, oddly enough, I think it was Washington, like last week, which I think was the week before, where they watched one, which was a bit of a surprise after Boulder like beat everyone else so convincingly. Bit of a turnaround there. So I guess we're gonna see which of these two Titans is gonna come out ahead. Game 1 coming in hot. Not as hot as I thought, apparently. Like
It's more like a lukewarm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe like that medium setting that you use to cook grilled cheese at. So like
you turn the skillet on for pancakes instead of like, I don't know, bacon or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Okay, now we're maybe approaching lukewarm status. Maybe okay, we'll probably slow this down a little bit. I mean, I don't know, maybe a bit of a stretch here. How much do you know about WSU's kind of Rocket League program?
I mean, not very much at all. I mean, I really haven't gotten too much into this whole Pac-U Rocket League scene until this year. So I'm learning as much while I'm casting as everyone else is who's watching.
Okay. Well, I might actually be able to give my little history lesson then. WSU has, at least for the 4 years I've been watching this squad, has been just a consistently high-performing team. Colorado as well. Definitely, as fun as it is to kind of watch the new programs kind of glow up and have their big moments, this is a much more veteran competition, as it were, and that certainly has its own flavor to it.
I mean, it makes sense that they'd be so good because there really isn't much to do in Eastern Washington where WSU is, so they probably spend most of their time playing video games anyway.
All right, putting an entire like half of a state on blast there, but all right, so
I mean, if you're from Eastern Washington, you know exactly what I'm talking about, so it makes sense.
okay, as long as they understand. As, hold on, Trixon gets one off the crossbar. Follow-up from Flover is gonna do it. All right, well, we apparently stopped our little bit of section on storytelling there just in time for Trixon and Flover to combine into a very nice little 1-2 goal. And I think for anyone just joining us, that is gonna be a pattern you can expect to see kind of recur. Trixon and Floven are often like trading places on these alley-oop style plays. Oceans almost getting one for the squad right there to answer back.
Yeah, I mean, a very close save there on that goal too. I mean, it just shows how good both these teams are mechanically. They're able to get so close on such a tough save. As I say that, a nice redirect from Ocean, playing that off of the teammate pass. Very impressive.
Oh, that was really nice. So Ari crosses it in front, and just a little bit of that forward push gets it into that top corner. Okay, 3-3-3 says the game clock. Game is all tied. I think a lot of people expected this to be a close-fought match, and I think that's exactly what we're gonna get, Hydra.
Yeah, definitely. It's close so far, neck and neck, and definitely some good back and forth. It's very fun to watch.
Now, WSU, they have a little bit of control. James gets it on to Colorado's side of the pitch, gets it off the backboard. Trixton goes up to turn the momentum, is now trying to make a play with Flover here. Said it's Oceans carrying the ball up the wall. Things will slow down. Flover and Ari both charge in. It's Dico making their first big appearance of the game as, whoa! James! What was that?
I mean, out of nowhere. Wasn't even expecting that. It caught me quite off guard.
I
he was
mean, that's just
on a
clean.
good rotation. Yeah.
Reads the
Good
rebound.
rotations.
He was ready at half field. Huh. Nice. But Ari kind of making this long play across the field. Ball gets a bit away from him, but can't maintain possession very long. Dico hanging at midfield as Ocean trying to turn things. Dico does receive. James follows up his teammate. Demo onto Trixton. Colorado's goal is a bit exposed here. James puts it on target. Flover makes the risky save, clearing the shot across the goal. Always a dangerous position to be in, but is able to do it. Things might get turned on Colorado here. Ocean certainly trying. Dico gets another save. Ocean again, dribbling the ball through the air, denied once more. Both teams holding themselves together.
Yeah, real close here. Lots of good back and forth. You're seeing good rotations from both teams. Not getting caught on their last man very often, and even when they are, that last man's in the perfect spot to make that save. It's definitely a different dynamic than we saw last game for sure. Last match, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You can feel just more like a greater defensive focus coming out on both ends of it. Neither team quite as explosive as ASU or the Huskies were in that regard. But as I say that, WSU, a three-man play combined to push them up 3-1.
Very impressive. Those three-man plays are so much fun to watch because it just shows how coordinated these teams are and how often they work together. They get those communication skills down and they work together so well.
Like you can just hear the Avengers theme playing in the distance as they kind of like come together for the big pose after the shot. I mean, it's always good old Rocket League to see.
If you play any Rocket League or you ever pick it up, you'll know just how hard it is to set up a good passing play and get that communication with teammates at that lower level. So it really goes to show how impressive these teams are.
I mean, there's only so much dexterity on a rocket car there, but WSU showing that they've got it. A race for the ball here. Trixton gets the better end of it. Flover now with an opportunity. Plays it off the ceiling. Can he get some help? WSU actually flies right on under that one. This could be a critical moment. 30 seconds on the clock. Dico does score.
Yeah, that defender just got caught on the pre-jump there off the wall, and he just wasn't able to make the flip and get that boost down in the right direction to make that save.
And now things are a little dicey. Boulder, if they get another just hot opening play, they could tie things up, force an overtime scenario. WSU, the time is on their side, but just barely.
I mean, I'd never complain about a little bit of extra Rocket League. It's never a downside to see a bit of overtime.
That said, WSU, they have kept their goals safe here. Colorado is kind of going for a Hail Mary if they get anything here. Responsibly sent to the ground by Ari there at the end. Ensures WSU will take game number 1. 3-2 scoreline. Apparently a bit of a recurring theme here today.
Yeah, I mean that was That was impressive. That was impressive Rocket League right there. It was fun to watch that. Very close. We saw a similar dynamic that we got between ASU and UW during those first half of those matches. Very back and forth. But I think in this regard, like you said, it was more of a defensive back and forth, locking down that defense, having that rook style defense, and not allowing either team to break through until a little mistake is made.
Certainly. And now, game 2, close upon us. Colorado, again, this is their final match of the Invitational as well. They're going to want to end on a high note. All these teams want to, so this game 2 is going to be so important for them.
Yeah, and I mean, ending it on a high note is always great. It brings the morale up. And as I say that, an interesting goal from Flover. I don't exactly know what happened there.
Okay, so
you see a replay for this one.
He sends it, goes off the crossbar. Deco wants to finish, just misses, but I mean, the ball had the right direction on it from the get-go, so it just takes care of itself a little.
I mean, my catchphrase when I play is definitely fakes, not mistakes. Whenever you make those little mistakes, you can throw off the opponent pretty hard when they're not expecting it.
Certainly. Ooh, demo on the Flover. Colorado's goal is exposed. James is here. Deco has rotated back. Is it going to be enough? Well, apparently yes. James gets demoed in revenge. Trixon sending the shot high and wide off the backboard. Goes the ball. Ari lifts things back. Boulder was ready, but how ready? Trixon says ready enough there. And after some intense back and forth sequences, things have started to slow down.
Yeah, a little bit here. They're definitely doing a good job of keeping that ball close to their car, like I said. And it can be tough to maintain that possession when both teams are so evenly matched. You get caught off guard quite often, but they're definitely doing a good job of keeping close to that ball. And as I say that, an interesting bump that leads to a goal. I want to see that again. It was very impressive. It caught him in midair.
I mean, man just goes up for it, swats it on down. James just barely out of position for it. Colorado, they take the biggest lead that they've had in this match so far, and keep it going. WSU, they're kind of struggling at the moment. What do you feel is kind of different for them from game 1?
I mean, on that second goal, as I say that, again, getting caught mid-sentence, another goal returned from WSU. They're bringing it right back.
Ocean has been the man for them getting these shots to happen. I mean, that all starts off a great breakaway from James, but maybe that was just what was missing. Ocean needed a little time to align the waves, as it were, was waiting for a high tide to come in, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that second goal from Colorado, I mean, there's not much that the WSU defense can do there. Flover caught him on a very nice midair bump, and another return goal from Ari. A nice little pass just to touch that one in the end.
There were so many WSU players around that goal. For a second, I thought it was their goal. Just all of them were closer to Boulder's goal than their own. How does that even happen?
I mean, it just getting caught on a heavy offense, and you get into that situation where that ball is bouncing in front of the opponent's net. I gotta quit talking because they keep scoring mid-sentence.
or I guess if you just like high-scoring games, I should just give you the mic 100% of the time. It's the second I ask a question, there we are. Colorado have pushed themselves another goal ahead. Did I mention it's only been 2 minutes? Yeesh.
I mean, it's 3 goals now that I've been mid-sentence on, and they score. So maybe if I just keep talking a little bit, we'll see a real high-scoring game, maybe record-breaking here.
Could be that there's some tough records to beat. Utah got like 7 earlier today. I believe we saw one match go almost like 10 combined goals earlier in the Invitational. I mean,
those team pinches.
Oh yeah. Ooh, just a demo city here. Opens up the door for Flover. Carries the shot in.
An impressive carry, just continuously tipping it away from that WSU defender, keeping it just out of reach. That takes a lot of skill to do, and a lot of ball control, and a lot of practice to be able to execute that well and that precisely.
And now it pays off in a big way. After the Cougars had a really good resurgence for themselves, they're kind of back to square one. Except it's a little bit worse than square one because they have less time to eat at this kind of 2-goal deficit. And they're going to have to find some special sauce. James might have it off the crossbar, sends it down. Oceans, maybe? There it is. Has it been 11 for this guy yet?
Again, I mean, fakes not mistakes. I think James wanted to go for that double, but Glover expected him to hit it, and him missing that, I don't know if it was an accident or not, but it opened that net wide open for Ocean to come in and just pop it right in.
Like, the mark of a fantastic team is when the mistake of one player is the fate of the second. And, oh, okay. Yeah, little dicey around Colorado's goal. WSU trying really hard to close this gap. Once again, Ocean's off the backboard. Won't end up getting it. So now it's Colorado going forward on offense. Incredible save for Ocean there. But so whoa, hold on, this is an exposed goal. Flover, another important stop. Okay, now Ocean setting things off the diagonal wall. They are kind of down a player here. Ari gets it, rolls it through the backboard. James coming off the wall, and he get down to his teammate. Up right in. 8 goals. 8 goals, Hydra. What causes this to happen?
I mean, he couldn't have placed it any better, putting it right in that upper corner. And maybe it's just whenever we're talking, they got to be scoring those goals in the middle of a word or sentence, because they must want to be the stars of the show here instead.
Could very well be. Less than a minute. In these scenarios, I like to call it like effectual overtime. That things are pretty much sudden death, as Ocean does get another goal here. But if you let me finish the sentence, I would have said, with how often these teams are scoring, I don't know if that's a safe bet. Maybe we would have played that differently if he knew, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, very, very quick back and forth here, and WSU bringing in 2 goals in quick succession. They're definitely not going down without a fight. A ground pinch attempt. That's an interesting one to see.
Doesn't quite end up going their way. WSU on defense now. James taking control, carries it past one, aerial push. Oh, Trixon was ready in the goal. And Colorado, they are down 1 game, now down 1 goal in a match where they have been ahead by over 2 multiple times now. I mean, this will be a very tough one to lose. They really want to get something. They've got 10 seconds to do it. The ball's on the right side of the court. Tico is setting up for it. He's going in. It's going by Ocean. Again, clutch save, 3 seconds. What can the Buffs do here? Here, Flover sends it on out. Ocean to the wall. The ball touches the ground. It's going to game 3 in WSU's favor. It's going. Trixon in the air, but it touches the ground. I asked, what can Colorado do? Right now, they're in danger of going home, because now, if they want to win their final Pac-U Invitational show match, they have to reverse sweep through a WSU team who's absolutely on fire, 1 game away from going undefeated in 6 weeks of competition. Hydra, that's bonkers.
I mean, from what we've seen from Colorado, they could definitely be the ones to bring it back. They've been playing really good Rocket League so far. The game, it may look like WSU is going to be there for the sweep, but all the games have been very close in score. So it could go either way still.
And nothing is safe. Nothing is sacred in this set. I mean, the game starts. Colorado's up 2-0. WSU just slam it back in the blink of an eye. Colorado run it back. 2 more in the lead, only for WSU to get 3 goals in a row. Colorado's got something going on here, Hydra, but I don't entirely know what.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say with how fast this pace is and how close the games are what the mistakes both teams are making, because it's a whole different level here. They're both teams are playing very well and very impressively, and it's very good teams making good team plays and stuff. So it's hard to really say which team is making what mistakes and what they can do better.
I mean, sometimes it just feels like where is the pendulum going to land as they swing back and forth, and so far WSU has been favored by the kind of that landing there. Now,
yeah, I mean both teams are showing their skill and what they can do. It's a lockdown defense and a quick-paced offense that it's very fun to watch just how fast this game is. There's never a second of no action.
speaking of which, James, using the wall, sets up the ball towards midfield. Deco was ready to send it out. No clear yet for Boulder. Oh, never mind. That one will do it. Almost ends up being a full court shot there. Tapped down by Deco. Ari ready in the air, but they are going to kind of send that one over to Ocean. Gets it to the diagonal wall. Can James finish? Ends up going wide. Hold on, that's getting really, really close. Ari does get the save at the last second, though.
That's twice now that we've seen Ari on such a good last man rotation. He's able to grab that full field clear and stop it from going right in the net. It's impressive defensive rotations from both teams right now that are locking it down so hard.
And now, after a game where 9 goals in total were scored, we have gone 2 minutes with none. I mean, you can just feel the players' mental elasticity in play. There's a lot of pressure on Colorado right now to perform. They don't want to make mistakes. But WSU feeling the pressure to close out the match. I mean, teams in these game threes so often just clean up the play in these really intense and impressive ways. It's always a delight.
Yeah, I mean, 2 games this high in skill, one of them down, at risk of losing the set here. It brings out a new lights a fire under their butts, and allows them to really show their stuff. And as I say that, Ari with a nice redirect. That was very impressive, well placed, and just out of reach of that defender.
And now Colorado, they're going to be dealing with the dark side of these very defensively kind of focused games here. 1 goal when there's 4 minutes and 45 seconds still on the clock, no one cares. 1 goal when there's only 2 minutes still on the clock, that's more impactful. There is a deflation of inflation of goal value, I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, every second matters in games like this that are so fast-paced. You need every bit of time that you can to execute the strategies and the plays that you want, and to avoid those last-minute goals, especially with that clock at 0-0. Because if you score your one at 140 or 130, and they're able to bring one right back, that still gives you another minute and 20 left to tie it up and not put yourself in that deficit. But if you score that goal in the last 20 seconds of the game, it really doesn't give you much time to retaliate there.
Does not. It's now a minute 20 seconds here to go. Boulder, their lives on the line, and WSU have made it a very thin line indeed, with strong offensive possessions. We're about minute 5. WSU do turn possession. Trixon sends it up. We are now sub 1 minute. All the pressure on the world on the Buffaloes. Hold on. Bouncing. It's so close. Trixon gets a critical touch out here. The demo onto Deco. Can WSU finish off a match-ending goal right here? Colorado doesn't get the clear. Ari gets another shot at this. Touch on down. 1 defender in goal. Deco crossing away. Trixon does get that final connector, but they still can't clear the ball out. Oh, wait. Ari, so close. James! Goal 2.
A very light touch there. It's hard to predict as that defender. Deco getting caught off guard. Flover in a weird spot, and opened it up for James to just kind of come in and tap it that last little inch it needed.
And that's the danger. Everyone loves to hype up the saves, but clears are how defenses hold together. 20 seconds for Colorado to get 2 goals. I've actually seen bigger turnarounds, but it's such a tall order, and they have to answer it, or their Pac-U careers will end in a dramatic sweep from WSU. 10 seconds on the clock. Deco hanging around the midfield. WSU just slow playing it midair. That is brutal. As now Trixon trying to hang around. That's going to be it. WSU clear the Pac-U. 6 weeks in a row, completely undefeated, doing so against some of the best Rocket League teams I have ever seen. I mean, that's just brilliant.
Yeah, I mean that was great to watch. It may seem like WSU was dominating there and had the offensive the whole time, but in reality, both teams were playing at top tier skill level, very back and forth, and I think it just happened to swing in WSU's favor this time.
I mean, sometimes when you get teams of this skill level going head to head like that, I mean, the tiniest difference, it becomes a game of inches that become miles very, very fast. And WSU, they found those inches, they found those little advantages, and they did so consistently enough that they take things down in a rather convincing 3 games. I'm honestly a little stunned by just how well they were able to execute. I still very impressed. That said, I think both programs have a lot to be proud of. Just coming through this whole invitational. Boulder having a massively positive record across the whole tournament. I mean, they famously last week ended ASU's undefeated streak, kind of ensuring WSU was the only team to hold that honor here. So I think those players have a lot to be proud of there. This last game also excellent, even if not following their way. And what can be said about WSU other than that they're a bunch of magnificent esports athletes.
Yeah, totally. They play great Rocket League. If you had to pick a game to watch, to study, to analyze, it should be one of WSU's games because they were playing top tier Rocket League. Impressive rotations on defense. We saw Ari saving multiple very close full field clears right over the heads of that offense, and he's able to get there and make that save. It's rotations like that, good team dynamic, and locking down that defense and capitalizing on the other team's mistakes that really brought out WSU for that set of games.
All right. That said, that is match 3 completed. One last thank you for both the teams for coming out and participating in the Pac-U. You were an absolute delight, but the time for match 4 does in fact draw near. University of Arizona versus Stanford University. You won't want to miss it when we return. Welcome back, folks. Match 4 short and close at hand. No, I guess now we don't know how long it's going to be. So just close at hand. Nothing short about it. I just want to apply that it's short at hand, which no one says, and it's weird that I even started to say it. Either way, Hydra, we have University of Arizona up against Stanford University. How do you feel about this matchup?
I mean, it's hard for me with this matchup. I haven't seen much of these teams play, so it's hard for me to pick who I might think come out on top. But I mean, I really don't think I could put a finger on it. It'd be kind of uninformed if I did.
All right, well, for you and anyone else just tuning into the Pac-U, I guess I could give a little bit of team history here for y'all. Stanford collected their first win last week. That was kind of a fanciful showdown there. Them up against they were up against USC or Berkeley. I think it was Carroll Berkeley. Yes, it was. There we go. Sorted out in my head. It was against Cal Berkeley last week. Both teams looking for their first win. Stanford did steal it away. Arizona's had a bit more of a decorated season to their name. Season, it's invitational. Either way, I think Arizona probably the favored team to win here. But Stanford, this is a team that has been growing and improving over the last 4 years since it formed. That's actually a funny origin story to how this roster came together. I don't think we have that much time for it, but I think it's going to be a pretty close one. Stanford definitely looking to kind of punch above their weight, but likely within striking distance.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see. Hopefully we get to see as quick-paced Rocket League as we did last set of games. That would be a fun another set to watch.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that one was fantastic. I could have watched like a best of 21 between WSU and Colorado Boulder, and I would have been on the edge of my seat the entire time. So any more games like that, sign me up. For show. Actually, it appears we have slightly more time than I thought. Maybe I will tell that story about the Stanford's program and how that all came together.
I would love to hear
Since
it.
This is all about celebrating the students and where they're coming from. 4 years ago, Stanford, they were competing in a tournament that you needed multiple teams in esports to compete in. It was a multi-game tournament, and Stanford was really in it for other titles, but they needed a Rocket League team in order to qualify. So just one of the organizers, a coach for a different one of their programs, walked into a computer lab and yelled, "Hey, does anyone in here play Rocket League?" Whoever raised their hands, that was the team for that tournament. So humble beginnings, as it were, admittedly, 4 years ago, and every time I have seen them since has been a marked improvement for this program. But it makes Stanford one of my favorite Rocket League teams to follow, just because, like, who does that?
You know? Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting way to get into it, but it could have been real fun to be one of those players just in a computer lab, and all of a sudden you're on the team, you know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, the nerve of that initial person just walking into a crowded room and just, like, yelling at people doing their homework, like, who wants to play video games? And apparently got a full old team out of it. That's how you do it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show just how saturated the Rocket League player base is. I mean, there's plenty of people who are willing to play some Rocket League when it comes down to it.
Now, the game has begun in earnest as, whoa, things getting a little dicey. Stanford, their goal was under attack for quite a bit. They almost got a breakaway goal there. Swath almost turned one back around on Arizona. That would have been a great way for the Cardinals to start their match.
Yeah, it would have been fun to see an opening goal like that in the first minute of the game, but when it comes down to it, I guess a heavy defense and back and forth game can be just as fun to watch.
Whoa. We almost had that first minute goal there. Stanford kind of playing with fire on that little defensive sequence. Don't get scored on, and that is what matters here in the end. But things were a little close for comfort Raps could be putting more of that pressure on. Obi takes a shot towards the pier. Maxwell following up, trying to hit something off the ceiling. Stick hanging in goal, ready to intercept that Stanford offense. Gets pushed out of position. That could be an exposed goal, but Arizona was well ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, in stark contrast to the last set of games here, we're seeing a lot more space in the midfield, a lot more open room for some players to make some real impressive plays, taking that ball up the wall, taking their time with it. It's definitely less heavy on their breath and on their minds this game than it was for sure last game.
Now, we have gone almost 2 whole minutes scoreless. Swath has a shot on an open goal. It's going Stanford with the opening shot. Cardinals showing they care here. I mean, that was Arizona. They committed very heavily to that offense, and that's what's going to happen to you.
Yeah, I mean, when you get overcommitted, overzealous on that offense, you leave that last man rotation wide open for those full field shots. Just kind of sneak one in behind you guys or over your heads.
It's now Maxwell riding up the wall. Zapier's ready in the corner. Gets it taken away. Maxwell crosses it towards goal, forces Raps to make an impressive save, but now Zapier has a chance to kind of do that full court reversal. Raps receives, flips it up. Stanford has control of the ball here. Swath and Obi coming forward. Zapier does get some control. Backboard save is solid. Clears not quite there. Maxwell, 2 shots in rapid succession, but Arizona keeps the lead where it is.
Yeah, and finally able to get it out of their half, open up some space, buy them some time to go collect some boost so that they could get right back on that offense.
Okay, here's Swath. Okay, trying to chase the ball around the corner. Maxwell can't find the touch. It's on Abi to get a good stop. Is able to do so, maintain Stanford's possession here. Most of them do rotate back. They had kind of used up a lot of their resources keeping that one going. But for now, I mean, the Wildcats haven't been able to really do much as far as getting and maintaining a possession goes here, Hydras. Is something just not connecting for these players?
I mean, it's hard to say. They're leaving lots of space in that midfield, like I just said, which gives the other teams a lot of time on that ball. And it's hard to intercept that when they have so much time to think of their plan, think of what they want to do, communicate it to their teammates. It's really hard to just predict what's going to happen there.
Yami, hold on. Stick has a chance. Gets it past one defender. Maxwell was ready, but Raps, the third man on the play, does end up finishing the deed there.
I mean, very smart from Maxwell to choose to float there a little bit longer. Instead of resetting his jump, it was quicker to the ball that way, but he was just slightly out of position there. That would have been a very nice save if he had been able to execute.
Now a minute left and the teams are tied. It would not be an exaggeration to say the next goal will likely decide the victor of this game 1. What a game 1 it has been. Here's Stick looking for the backboard. Deflect out is good by Stanford. Abi leading the charge, getting help from Maxwell. Raps, that's that kind of important takeaway. And Arizona could be the ones taking possession.
It's neck and neck here. It'll be definitely a heart pumper to see who really wins this one here, who comes out on top. It's been so close. Lots of very close shots and nice saves from both teams. And as I say that, a very close attempt from Swap.
They're going to be the case here. 8 seconds left. We are likely to go into literal overtime here pretty quick. Stick defending this goal as best they can. Hold on, could this be it? Maxwell! The demon himself finishes things off. 2-1 for Stanford. 0 seconds off the clock. You could tell Raps so desperately from the wall wanted to push the ball down, but just couldn't do it. And the end result, the Cardinals take game 1.
Yeah, I mean, from what you were saying, a bit unexpected, but they were definitely able to show it in the end there that they were willing to just slam it right in and kind of break through that defense.
The teams are looking well matched right now. But admittedly, I don't want to say I expect more. I feel that that's a weird connotation to it, but I think Arizona has more in the tank than this. I think like Stick and Raps in particular, let's focus on Raps for a moment, has long been a part of this team's success. He's just been like this absolute dynamo on offense that has been able to bring so much for them. And it's been a little bit of a quiet game for him so far. If there is going to be kind of an comeback in this for the Wildcats, I think a lot of eyes have to be on raps.exe, as apparently the username is now, to kind of step up to the plate and do what his team knows he can, or Stanford might be well on their way.
Yeah, I mean, bringing it back here, they showed that they can definitely win this one. Arizona did, at least, and it was so neck and neck, so close the whole time that there's no way that you could really say that they're down in the dumps or not able to bring this one back, because it was so close last game. They definitely could. They definitely have it in the tank to show Stanford they can make it 1-1.
Raps almost showing it right there. Him and Zapier trying to get that full court shot going. Stick slows down Stanford, which is already kind of, it's hard to get much slower than that. The mascot's a tree. I mean, come on. Either way, Arizona pushing forward. Stick ends up kind of flying under the ball. That might be an exposed goal here. They get it over one. Abi, as they prefer to be called, does finish it off. Stanford get a goal real quick there.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw that demo, and I was uncertain of where that would go, and it led to a goal.
Like, the dust cloud came up there. I'm like, oh, goal's going to happen here, but I can't see anything. Oh, Obi got it. All right.
Yeah, that can be real frustrating as a player to have someone get demoed right in front of you, because it's real hard to see through that smoke and the big letters.
Stanford, the beneficiaries so far, get up to... They kind of claim that first goal for themselves, a second game in a row, which is just a good look for fans of this team. The proving pressure is on Arizona right now.
Yeah, Stanford's definitely showing what they have, showing what they can do. The openness in the field is allowing for more solo plays, more interesting ball carries and things like that. But it is also opening up that offense and putting them in scenarios where they can get a ball scored right over their head.
Speaking of that, Zapier gets a good one over the goal. Can Raps finish this one so close? Gets kind of like two taps there in rapid succession, but they do not end up spelling a goal. Abi being demoed could be the window. Swath answers back, just sniping Zapier out of the air. Here's .exe and not gonna find quite what he was looking for, and now it's Arizona on defense.
Yeah, it's back and forth right now. Both teams showing good defensive skill, keeping those close shots out of their net, clearing to the corner. Very important, because if you clear that ball right down the middle of the field, it could turn into a pass to the other team and allow them to have a nice setup to just kind of tee that ball into the net.
Could do just that. 2:32 on the clock here. Stanford up by just one. A very fragile lead here for the Cardinals. Abi could be looking to expand it. Rap goes over, but Obi goes past. There was an attempt by Maxwell to make that one work. Just doesn't really convert the way they wanted. And now I believe Stanford's forced back on the D.
Good back and forth here. It's exciting to watch. It's quick paced. Best Rocket League is the fastest Rocket League.
2 minutes. Here's Maxwell rolling up, just barely short of hitting the club. That Stick carries things away. Demo on to Maxwell. Now there's pressure on Swath to, whoa! I was going to say defend the goal, but that one works too. Homeboy had a little bit of English on that one. Sends it straight down, but it curves under the crossbar anyway. Woo.
Yeah, very, very impressive shot there. Difficult to do, showing the skill that these players hold and the mechanics they have in their heads, what they know and what they can execute.
Well, right now, Stanford is off to a tear. Can you like pinpoint some kind of like root cause for all the success they're having right now?
I mean, it's hard, but these teams are pretty evenly matched in skill. I think they're just kind of capitalizing on a bit more of the U of A's open rotation. All that space in the middle of the field, if you don't keep those rotations tight, you open up scoring opportunities and opportunities for that ball to be hit over your head.
Okay. See what Arizona can do here. They have just over a minute to try and bring game 2 back. They have the offensive positioning carried out by Swath. Gives the Cardinals a little bit more room to breathe, but Sapir and Stick are trying to set something up. Here comes the cyan car. Turquoise apparently not in vogue as Abi carries it away, gets that reverse demo. Perhaps trying to do something here. Stick through the corner. Stanford's still under a bit of duress. 30 seconds, it's not a lot of time to work with, but Arizona could just getting a ball in net would at least be good for team spirits heading into a game 3.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been saying, Rocket League is definitely a mental game if you're not in the right mental mindset. Wow.
There it is.
As I'm talking again.
Just what the doctor ordered. Now, all the Wildcats need to do is get like a goal in 14 seconds. That's an easy thing to do, right, Hydra?
I mean, it's not impossible. Nothing's impossible. And if they get a kickoff that goes in their favor, we can get a nice redirect right into that net.
Okay, they might need like a full course redirect. Zapier not finding that touch. Maybe not what they were looking for. 5 seconds on the clock. Arizona have to keep this in the air to force an overtime. Ooh, so close. Zapier almost
Very
gets
close.
under that. And that could have been the scoring opportunity. Not going to be the case. In a bit of a reversal of fortunes here, Stanford now up 2-0 in the match score after, I believe 2-1 has been the game score for both the last two. I mean, it's neck and neck game to game, but match to match, I mean, the tree looks sturdy. Arizona, they have a bit of a hill to climb here. I'm kind of curious if you're the coach and you're talking to your players right now for Arizona, what are you telling them?
I think the biggest thing is that they should keep doing what they're doing, but tighten up those rotations just a little bit. They're giving Stanford too much time on the ball to execute plays and to make those solo moves that are just too hard to predict. So if you give them less time on that ball, less time to think, it'll lead to mistakes, and you can really capitalize on those.
Right. Well, it's time to move it or lose it, prove it or snooze it. I don't know. Either way, it's game 3. This is Arizona's last Pac-U match. So, same goes for everyone. That's the theme of tonight, as it were. And I know they want to end it on a better note than this, and they've got it in the tank. They've got the skills. I've seen them do it. But it is, are they gonna find it?
I mean, it's hard to see the positives of something like that. I mean, if they do end up getting swept here. Both games previous, they were still playing very well and still very close to Stanford here. So they can come out of it with their heads held high if it doesn't seem to go in their favor, knowing that they may not have come out on top overall, but they were definitely executing well and playing as a good unit for the first 2 games.
Said, here's Zapier playing it off the back wall. Raps is kind of the player back on defense, but Abi is right there with them neck and neck. Drives it up the corner. Arizona's back in goal, but Swath forward into the goal. Gets the opening goal for Stanford 3 games in a row. Is it like a slow start problem here for Arizona or anything like that?
It's hard to pinpoint it. I think the biggest thing is that they're not closing down that space. When you give other players that much time on the ball, they have time to think and collect boost and things like that are valuable resources. So if you shorten that time, you can really open up their defense with mistakes. When you're thinking fast, say you're taking a test or something like that, it's real easy to make those real simple mistakes. You leave a minus sign off on one of your answers in a math test, or you do some calculations wrong on your chemistry test. And the same thing applies to these quick-paced sports. As soon as you start rushing, you can really make some simple mistakes that you normally wouldn't.
And you are giving me some like just high school flashbacks, just forgetting the plus or minus C at the end of a derivation. But you're Obi coming on in, Maxwell rolling off the side. Sorry, after an integral. Man, okay, been too long since I did high school calculus, I guess.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, I think that's an integration, but either way, it's still a good example. And as I say that, Zephyr just taps it right in, dribbling it on the front of his car.
You know,
I
bet Zephyr's really good at integrals. They would never get that flipped up turnways the way I had. As they do.
I think Rocket League is more of a geometry game, if I'm going to be completely honest here. It's all angles and, reading that ball off that wall and reading it off of other player's car. It's all about those angles and those shapes.
Yeah, but like the acceleration, the speeds, it is the math of change. Come on. I think calculus analogies are in play.
I mean, for all those students out there saying, when am I going to get to use this math? Rocket League, that's when you get to use it. No other time, but video games are definitely the highlight for that.
Certainly. I guarantee it. Ask Raps. They will 100% back me up. Every time they take a shot on goal, they solve like 3 derivatives. 100% factual. No hyperbole in play. As it is Stanford on the attack here. Obi sets it off the diagonal wall, pushes it towards goal. Stick was ready. Rotation in from Maxwell. Keeps Stanford in possession. Minute 27 to go. There's the backboard ball in front of the goal. Whoa, there it is! Obi drives one in. Stanford again at their magical 2-1 scoreline. History seems to be repeating itself, and Stanford is well versed. They studied for that exam.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, for Zephyr there, it's a tough situation when you get caught low on boost, and that ball's coming from the corner. That real bouncy roller, I guess you could call it. It's not moving too quick. It's hard to make that read accurately and time your flip well when your tank's running low.
Now, Swath and Raps haven't been an aerial contest. Does go Raps' way. Will be ready to receive in the air. The stick flips things right on back. Maxwell, an important save, 50 seconds. One small mistake could make all the difference here. Set down by Arizona. Stick riding it along the wall. Abi will end up receiving it. Taps it up towards the ceiling. Zapier doesn't find that aerial takeaway. Man gets it past Sticks. Raps last line of defense does stabilize for the Wildcats.
What percent of Rocket League players do you think are math majors here at the universities? I mean, it's gotta be up there.
87.5%.
I mean, yeah, quick calculation like that, we could assume that you're a math major and you play Rocket League as well.
Oh, clearly, both of those statements are very much true. Okay, 5 seconds left. Arizona, last 3 seconds of the Pac-U for them. What can they do with it? Raps does get a little bit more air on it, but he needs some help. Stanford sends it towards Arizona's goal. It's heading towards the ground. Zapier tries to roll under it. Just can't. Barely rolls off the top of their car there. Stanford win their second Pac-U show match, ending their kind of invitational run on a 2-win streak. And that's the way to do it. They're looking strong, Hydra.
Yeah, and I mean, a good way to end it. All 3 games, 2-1, just showing how close it was. It could have swung into anyone's favor, but I think overall, it was Stanford who was able to capitalize with that space and utilize some of their skills there to sink those balls in the net.
yeah, just had that little bit more in them today, had that extra fire, and it comes out in a big way. As always, I do want to give a huge thank you to both these teams for coming out and competing, making the Pac-U the wonderful contest that it has been. Making your schools proud, both you, Arizona, Stanford, just fantastic esports that we've all been a part of. That said, that is the conclusion of your match, though, and we have one last here for us. The Pac-U final week, final match. USC, Southern Cal Trojans, up against University of California, Berkeley, the Golden Bears. Only one team can emerge victorious, and you're going to find out after this break.
it's driving me insane. Silence rattles in my brain. Yeah, I gotta get away. Always waiting for the fall, so I built my towers tall, wandering through these empty halls. Break the cycle now, walls are coming down. I gotta make it out. Yeah, 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 yeah. Look my fear right in the eye. I just wanna feel alive.
Welcome back, folks. My buddy Chartreuse always struggled with this question, but Hydra, do you know what time it is?
I have no idea what time it is.
It is match 5 time.
Got
The
it. I mean, I
time
should have
where-
seen
where-
that one coming.
Maybe a little. I do it every week. Either way, match 5, week 6, the grand Pac-U Rocket League finale, as it were. University of Southern California versus the University of California, Berkeley. Trojans, Golden Bears. The battle of the hour. Century is a little dramatic, but definitely the battle of the hour. Right now.
Yeah,
Hydra, do you have
It'll
any
be exciting.
expectations?
I'm looking forward to a very evenly matched game. I know both teams have a similar standing and are in a similar space here, so it'll be fun to watch when two teams are so close. It can be very back and forth. You can get those games where they just run the score up and it's a 10-goal game or something like that, or you can get those games where it's just 5 minutes of watching them play ping pong, and it can be really exciting.
I mean, one way or the other, we're likely to find out pretty fast what manner of set this is going to be. I dare not make a prediction, not because I do not know, because I don't know if you notice, I'm actually all-knowing in all things Rocket League, and I've never been wrong about anything ever, but I just want to keep things suspenseful for the fans, since this is our kind of grand finale match, as it were, you know?
Yeah, and I'm glad to see it's on this first game here at least is on Aquadome, because I do like this map a lot. It's very good to look at, although it does sometimes drop your frames a little bit, but it is a pretty map. And as I'm talking, Renzo with a nice little redirect from the ground, that pass from Val, and he's just able to get up there and read that.
That was just really nicely done there. You get 2 defenders up there for USC, but we're just too little, too late. And Berkeley gets themselves that early advantage.
Yeah, that opening goal. It can be very exhilarating to get that opening goal and show your dominance a little earlier, bare your fangs a little bit, and show the other team what you can do. And as I say that, Lakeo with an instant comeback, just bringing it right back to him, showing them they're not ready to go down.
Oh yeah, that's just nice. I mean, both teams, looking pretty slick here in the opening minutes. Tied up 1-1, under 30 seconds. I've got high hopes for this match here, Hydra.
Yeah, hopefully, as I was saying, they're going to be so close that we get really good Rocket League here. Maybe so far we're showing a bit more of that running up the score and just real high-scoring game, but it can all change, especially when they're this closely matched.
As now
It's a nice touch there from Richard.
Okay, USC is trying to get kind of an attack going, but they are fighting down a man. Hammer Time and Driven kind of doing their best. Whoa, that was close. Richard forced into a difficult save, denies that kind of long-range goal. Hammer Time stops it here in favor of USC. Now rolling off the wall here. Lakeo controlling it along the diagonal. Val sends things out. Hammer Time has been demoed, so Berkeley should be able to stabilize on this defense unless Driven sends it to Lakeo. Richard, again, an important deflection out, stops the 1-2 punch, or has he? Hammer Time is able to make it happen.
You see there, they got caught on the double commit, and Renzo went in on that ball, and I guess maybe didn't realize that his teammates had committed so hard, and just leaves that net open for a slow roller.
that said, it is going to be Cal flipping things back in USC's direction. Gotcha, as I have been informed, it is Lacayo, not Lakeo here, representing USC. I have 3 minutes left. Lorenzo ties things up just under 3 minutes, as it were. And that was a bit of a strange goal, but it certainly works.
Yeah, I mean, it works out, whatever ties the score up. More Rocket League, and maybe we'll see that 5-5 game I predicted, hopefully.
Could very well be. An odd thing here. Hammer Time drives it the entire length of the map, forces Renzo to make a tough save for themselves. But now, Val pushing forward, gets past one defender, rolls it right on in. Berkeley takes the lead.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it seemed that he faked him very hard here, just playing that flip in the opposite direction of what JK Driven expected, and it resulted in a nice little goal. No, uncontested. The defender on his heels. It was very nice.
So now, Golden Bears claw their way up to a 1-goal advantage. 2 minutes 30. Game as high scoring as this. They can't sit cozy, but for the moment, they are favored. Driven, trying to change that up. USC very heavily committed on offense here. A lot of pressure on Lacayo to kind of slow things down, let his team rotate back. There's Lorenzo hanging around, trying to combine with Richard for another offensive play. It's on the clock. Whoa, rotated back a bit far. That pass kind of turned into a shot, kind of turned into Cal under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so close, and they've been putting a lot of that pressure on. I wouldn't be surprised if USC can get another one back here. Both teams are having a bit of a miscommunication problem here, it seems, as we've seen multiple double commits from both of them, and they are getting caught with that last man on defense in an offensive situation.
So Hammer Time took a bit of a jump forward, kind of puts JK Driven in a spot where they have to make a pretty impressive little stop there to stop Berkeley from extending the lead. Either way, the MC doing their best to set up Lacayo, but with the ball just rolling up the wall like that, play has a tendency to slow down.
An interesting choice there from Cal Berkeley's defense there, not challenging that ball so high up in the air, giving him a lot of time to play that across the field. It probably would have been more advantageous to just kind of challenge that early, get it out of the air, get it down to one of your teammates.
Ooh, there it is. Renzo with the shot, with the goal, carries it along the corner, flicks it up with the back of the car, and just roll on in. USC did their best to try and clear it out, but even if they did, the follow-up attacker was there. Berkeley had that in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, getting caught in that corner, that was a nice angle to put that ball into the net from. Difficult to read as a defender. Sometimes, I mean, your knowledge of the goal frame becomes more and more...
All right. Okay. In the final seconds, the MC comes to town, and Berkeley can't touch this. I mean, Renzo just in that tough spot there. Hammer Time brings USC within a single goal. They are in range to tie this one up, but it will require them to act fast and to act as a coordinated unit.
As I was talking, I mean, I went quiet just because of how perplexing that shot was there. It was an interesting display from the defense, and either a fake or just a light touch from Hammer Time there, and it was mind-boggling almost.
Borderline hypnotic in that attack pattern, as it were. USC, 6 seconds to work with. Driven has control of the ball, but it's falling fast. Cal's keeping it on the ground. Does go up to the air. Renzo makes the save. Lacayo can't keep the play going. Cal Berkeley take away game number 1. And now the favored in the match right here, Hydra. And looking pretty good for them. Definitely got close in a few spots. But I think the Golden Bears have a pretty good path for themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely could see it coming back in the other way. Tightening up that communication and not committing so many players on offense and in scenarios where one player can do the job would definitely bring it back here. Stop them from opening up their defense, because it's those little mistakes. Maybe you miss the ball on their half of the field. A minute later, 30 seconds later, it results in a goal.
Very much could be Rocket League that the tiniest things can end up making the biggest differences. And we'll just have to find out. Game number 2 should be ready here pretty fast. What are your expectations for it?
I mean, I think it could go in Cal Berkeley's way again, just the way they were playing. They definitely had it locked down a little bit more. But there's definitely potential for USC to bring this back.
Trying to do just that. Driven and Hammer Time pushing forward. Ooh, just barely off. They might still be able to finish this. Lacayo! The new player for USC coming in their moment of need. The Trojans now leading in Game 2. And that's exactly what you need after a tough Game 1 loss.
Yeah, and I mean, for that defense, the more times that ball bounces off that wall before you can get in between it and the wall, the harder that play becomes to read, and the harder to predict it is. So it's really important that you intercept that ball from the wall, use your backboard defense, be quick to it, and get it out of that dangerous scenario before it results in a goal.
Driven got such a fancy flick there to set up this push from USC. I think they can do a little bit more with it. Renzo gets the clear on out of there. Hammer Time not yet convinced. Here's Driven looking for the takeaway. Demo onto Lacayo makes this goal a little bit vulnerable. What can Val do with it? Shot not on the mark. That might come back to haunt Berkeley here. Richard not quite done. Wants a correct course if he can. Renzo keeps it going in the right direction. Val almost has his deflection out from Lacayo. Critical juncture, but it's still Berkeley on the attack. Oh, well, never mind. USC taking control.
Yeah, I mean, an unrelenting offense right there. Lots of dangerous scenarios, and Cal was just able to, or USC, my bad, was just able to get it out of their half and play that for the clear. But it was definitely very close multiple times.
Wait, hold on. They might almost have it here. Jakey Driven had such a good setup off the backboard that I really thought Lacayo could have finished, but the defense from Berkeley, they were all there, they were all ready, and they didn't let the Trojans get away with nothing. Driven off the ceiling. Hammer Time doesn't get the touch they wanted. Now Val has a breakaway opportunity. They're taking it. They got it. Berkeley tie up the game.
That's a tough one for Hammer Time right there. That goal is not so far apart with those little mistakes. It kind of was the nail in the coffin for that goal there. That little miss is all it takes to just open up that defense enough to slot one in.
As now, Richard bringing the duress onto USC's side. Renzo, well, wanted to give him a hand, but it is USC's turn on the offense. Lacayo just, all right, Driven, getting that last touch in there. The defense from Berkeley looking a little discombobulated. Val forced to be a one-man army up against the Trojans, and that is no way to win a war. Berkeley down one.
It's hard to tell what happened there. It seemed that Cal just kind of got stuck with two players committed on offense, low on boost from whatever attack they had started, and that just leaves that one player in the back to deal with 3 players. When you're that low on boost and stuck on the other half of the field, your teammates better be real locked down on defense, because they're going to get a barrage right after that.
Very much will. 2:15 here to go. Game balanced on a knife's edge. USC fighting tooth and nail to tie up the match. Berkeley unwilling to make it easy for them. Hold on, ball's heading towards Berkeley's goal. Richard seizing control just in time. Val here to extend the possession, dueling Hammer Time for control, but are able to clear it. Hold that thought, it's close!
Oh.
Renzo almost scores, Driven, what a save!
Yeah, I mean, it's so close there, and again, you see, although it almost worked out for him, Cal committed with 2 players way up high on that USC side, and leaving, again, Val in the back just to manage alone.
Nothing over easy. Minute 30 still in play. Lacayo coming forward. There it is, up our right hand, 90. The lead expands, and now Berkeley, they've had a tough go of it these last few minutes. Like, Hydra, can you like point to any kind of particular direction? What has allowed USC to kind of pull ahead like this?
I think it's Cal's rotations right now. They're a little bit off. Something just isn't quite there. And as I say that, Hammer Time slots one in that upper right corner again. Very impressive shot from him there.
Man, the myth, the legend. Hammer Time has been just a huge portion of this team's success when they have been doing good in Pac-U matches past. And I think it's no surprise that when they start to run it back against Berkeley here, that it's off the back of this man's plays.
So just now you can see they're leaving another opportunity, that double commit, that offensive double commit to keep the ball on USC's half. Leaves another man in the back alone. And I think that really what they need to do here is tighten up the communication. And I had JK Driven there almost with a double touch into his own net. That would have been very interesting to see. But as I was saying, just tightening up that communication and tightening up those rotations so that they're not getting these double commits resulting in goals.
Certainly something to look forward to as Game 3 draws nearer and nearer, and it appears it's going to be a tied up Game 3 at that. USC bringing it back. They just barely let Game 1 slip away, but now to win Game 2 in such a convincing fashion. We got 10 seconds left, but 3 goals is 3 goals here, Hydra. As we begin to get ready for game number 3. I mean, what do you think is the biggest difference between here and now, and what does Berkeley need to do if they want to deny the USC comeback?
I mean, just as I said, they really got to tighten up that communication. We saw way too many double commits from them there. Too many to be happy with. It's definitely needs to just get tightened up a little bit. Talk to your teammates. They're right now what they should be doing is talking to each other, letting each other know that they can trust one another, and so they don't need to make so many double commit mistakes.
Certainly. And I mean, time to prove it as any is now. As with both teams taking a win, as the saying goes, the series has shrunk. We are in a best-of-3 scenario, almost starting anew. The momentum from Game 2 could flow forward, could continue to impact things. I think player mental fortitude is going to end up being tested quite extensively here. I mean, it's literally a late night game for both these teams. Actually, now that I think about it, California, a little bit ahead of my time, so not as late as I thought it was for them. They're actually probably still chilling, but the stakes have to feel elevated. Game 3, things tied up. I think we're gonna see who cooks under pressure and who does the cooking. Cracking's the normal metaphor, but I'm in a cooking mood, I suppose.
Must be hungry or something.
Could be.
But, I mean, going into Game 3 here, the momentum could carry, but both teams definitely have an opportunity to bring it back and get that match point advantage. But it really needs to show the tightening of that communication if Cal Berkeley wants to come back here.
But now the time is upon us. The packet loss converting into apparently X-Wordy coming in, scoring things pretty nicely himself for USC. A substitution seems to be in play for the Trojans. I believe they are coming in for Lacayo here. is what I believe I see before me. A bit of a mix-up. Yeah, USC closer back to their starting lineup, as it were. I'm curious what kind of impact that might have on the rest of the match.
Yeah, I was interested once I saw that new name on the field. I was a little confused, but maybe we'll see a bit of an MVP here. Someone bringing out the new guns, fresh set of hands to get those mechanics in motion and maybe bring the team together a little bit here.
I mean, could be just what they needed. Lacayo had themselves a good showing, and I don't think that can be disputed. But Xwordy is the normal starter here for the Trojans. And if they're already winning game 2 with the sub, then maybe bringing in the big gun could be a big deal for them. Berkeley is about to be thoroughly tested.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, bringing in that main roster player is definitely a challenge for Cal Berkeley here, but if they can tighten it up a little bit, they can definitely at least hold their ground for the time being.
As here's hammer time, cross to the goalie box, interrupted by the Golden Bears. Driven does get demoed, so it's just hammer time, and that's all that's needed. Setup from Wordy is good, and I mean, that's just clean. The Berkeley defense, not nowhere to be seen, but nowhere close enough to stop that one from happening. USC off to a tear.
Yeah, I mean, bringing it up 2-0 with 3:30 left, it's going to be tough for Cal Berkeley here. From what we've seen, if the USC offense just keeps pounding it in and keeping that possession like they have been, then it could be real tough for Cal Berkeley here.
Here's Driven trying to carry away. Renzo gets an important bit of disruption. Squirty comes back into the play. Driven waiting to support. Richard keeps things tight on defense. Val gets another save in time. Can Berkeley get themselves some offense going their way? Val's going to try to do just that. Here's Wordy trying to carry things up the wall. Not going to quite be possible. Richard extending the offense, carrying it towards goal. Where's the defense? Hammer time. There he is. USC keep the goal safe for now, and I believe they've exhausted Cal's boost and should be able to push forward themselves now.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to maintain that boost control there, which was pretty important for them getting it out of their own half and not letting Cal take their boost. And as I say that, Xwordy with a nice read off the wall and putting it into the right side of the net.
For an MVP, Hydra, and it seems you got him.
So far, hopefully it holds up.
Now, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Berkeley, they got game 1. They won that rather impressively, if I do say so. But here they are, game 3, backs against the wall, apparently. The substitution from Morty, I was not sold it was going to be a huge deal. I'm like, hey, Lacayo's having a great match. I don't really know if a sub can do that much, but Wordy's certainly doing it. Hammer Time seems to be playing up to their teammate as well here, as they almost secure a 4th. Driven gets it to the wall. Renzo knocks it away. Cal Berkeley have an offensive opportunity. What are they going to do? Val gets a positive flick, but Renzo, not entirely sure what they want to do. Doesn't quite get that touch.
Rule 1.
Well, what 1v1 head-on duel there in the middle of a match will mean a lot of hoopla for nothing. Seems to be the order of the day. Me and my big mouth. Me and my big mouth.
I mean, you have those 2 players, Rule 1 in the corner. You know, if you break that, some bad juju may occur. And it leaves it at a 2v2, and we see that Cal Berkeley is able to bring it out.
2v2, it's a higher scoring game mode, as it were. Now, it's already on the clock. Hammer Time just flips the switch right on back, though. Just sets up his own shot. I mean, kickoff from Wordy is solid, but then bounce it under the crossbar. Dang, that's just good Rocket League, man. I don't know what else to tell you.
I mean, yeah, a quick repose like that, it's very exhilarating to be able to get it right back and not let that other team feel like they have any sort of momentum.
Couldn't have said it better myself. as I certainly wouldn't have thought to use the word riposte there. And excellent selection from the thesaurus there, friend. Anyway, Hammer Time playing off the wall, pushes it forward to Wordy. Val gets the save. Renzo playing from the corner. Ball goes up, floating towards goal. Hammer Time deflects it out. So Richard tried their darndest to get Berkeley on the board that little bit more. 50 seconds, USC still leading by 3. JK driven, sends it towards goal. Val was ready. And things that seem to be slowing down a little bit just again.
Yeah, I mean, the defense seems to have locked it down a little bit here. We haven't seen a double commit in a while, and as I say that, a demo opening up for a good clear out of their half. Because sometimes a defensive demo is all it takes to just get that ball out of your own half. Make a demo part of your rotation sometimes, and it can lead to good things.
Certainly can. Now, Hammer Time in the corner, going head-to-head with Richard. We are in these final 10 seconds. USC has largely wrapped up this game 3, but they might want a little bit more for their trouble. Cal trying to end it on a goal. Oh, that's just mean. The ball was on track, but it was on the ground. And that means USC take game 3 for themselves. And as we head into game 4 here, Hydra, it's going to be the Trojans with the match point advantage. If you're in the Berkeley locker room, what has to change?
Again, I've been saying it this entire set, but it's important that they bring out that communication, because what we've been seeing is just open nets due to double commits, long rotations for boost and boost over ball, leaving one player as that last man back. And it can be a real tough scenario when you're in a 1v3, as the odds aren't really in your favor.
Certainly not. I mean, there's so many difficult situations that you can end up in when too many players go any which way. A great deal of discipline is required to consistently get results at this level of play. And if that discipline isn't there, things can spiral out of control very, very quickly. And now Berkeley, they're going to have to prove what they're made of. This could be the final game of the Pac-U Invitational. Could be upon us right now in this game 4. And it's going to come down to what does Berkeley have left to take? Can they take us to a game 5? Or is USC going to ride this one out as a W?
Now, I was interested to see if maybe USC went back to the sub. Maybe they're just giving him a little bit of play time at the end of the season. But it seems that they've stuck with Wordy here and are going to maybe try and put the nail in the coffin.
They seem to be here to finish things. Full starting roster coming out from the Trojans once more. But it's now, whoa! Renzo weaves it through like 3 people. I need to see the replay. How does that happen?
I mean, sometimes those camera angles can be real dramatic and catch you off guard as a car flies out of nowhere from behind you and puts one in the net past 3 players.
That is the golden start the Bears needed. Having that early lead, so good for mental. It's not invulnerability as USC already on the attack. Hammer Time flips it over goal, ends up going under on the attack. USC now on defense. Wordy kind of getting tail-spinned there by Renzo. Val and Richard trying to combine for a scoring opportunity. Driven was ready and does find the clear for the Trojans. Berkeley's lead will hold.
It's hard to tell what Driven was going for exactly there. It looked like he was going for some wave dashes, but he had 100 in the tank. It's an interesting choice when people go for a wave dash off the wall or on the ground in a scenario where the boost will do the job, because that can be quite risky. Sometimes you mess up the timing a little bit, you mess up the angle a little bit, and you get caught losing all your momentum.
Wordy was looking for a shot, ended up being a little low on the ball, so can't hit it down. USC still on the attack, but Berkeley, the defense holds strong. Val clears it out. Driven slows the roll here. Demo onto Richard. This is an exposed goal. Only one defender. Could it be enough? Not going to be the case. Quantity ties it up.
Oh,
1-3-0-3-1 reads the numbers at the top of the screen. And that means we are tied up with 3 minutes to go.
I mean, one man can only do
Talent.
so much there. And we see Cal in an interesting spot again, leaving one man on defense to an unrelenting offense. And if they just keep pounding it off you, eventually you're going to pass it right to them, and they're going to get an opportunity to put it in that net.
Speaking of which, another demo, Driven. Living up to the name. Homie's got the fire in him, and that fire converts into a goal. USC pull up to a lead. They're looking to put the Pac-U Rocket League Invitational to bed in their name. And it's all on Berkeley to stop that from happening and keep the Game 5 hope alive.
It's hard to overlook the impact that Wordy has had since he got back into the game. I mean, that pass was awesome. The first game going not so well in their favor, and getting into the second game and now the third game, it seems that it's going more USC's way. So maybe that was just the little boost they needed, getting that one last main roster player in to put them over the edge.
I mean, sometimes it's not even about just like the individual player skill in that moment then. It's just about the simple fact of, yes, it is the starting roster. This is the primary practice configuration. It's not just about like a Wordy's mechanical skills compared to the subs anymore. Then it's just about like Driven and Hammer Time. They're being elevated just because they are more used to playing with Wordy than anybody else, and that's good for them.
Yeah, I mean, evidence for that. The first game, USC and Cal Berkeley had a similar number of double commits, a similar number of rotation mistakes, but as Wordy's gotten in here, those mistakes have almost gone out the window for USC here, and we haven't seen nearly as many of them. So that added layer of communication with those players that you're used to. Oh, Hammer Time intercepting that shot. It could have been a nice shot, but it looked like he got a little impatient. But playing with those players that you're used to and having that communication is pretty important, and it can definitely put you over the top compared to playing with someone you've never played with before or rarely play with.
Okay. Here's Wordy trying to get some offense going. Richard does kind of put a damper on that one. That does mean Berkeley has an offensive opportunity here. Renzo and Val trying to make it happen. Driven gets a save, but a floaty one at that. Trojans not out of the woods just yet. We are under 1 minute. These could be the final 50 seconds of the Pac-U Invitational if USC can hold their lead. But Val's trying to take it away. They're so close, but the ball just rolls in front of the goal, does not go in. And now Wordy trying to finish this. Here's Hammer Time off the backboard. Can Driven finish? Angle's not quite there. 30 seconds. One goal separates these two teams, and right now, USC in position to end everything.
Yeah, so far the unrelenting offense, they haven't even been able to get it out of their own corner, let alone their own half. It's leaving USC in a great position to finish out this game, but maybe Cal Berkeley can get one back real quick here.
Okay, 5 seconds. USC, they're the ones in control. Can Driven get one more? Hammer Time will score the final goal of the Pac-U Invitational. That seals the deal. 3 seconds, technically possible for something else to happen, but the odds are good enough that I'm prepared to call it. Hammer Time and USC will win out the match 6. Wait, hold on 1 second. It's actually really close to the goal here. Okay, Hammer Time on the wall. Driven sends it up. As soon as the ball hits the ground, it is going to be all over here, folks. USC try to get one more goal for themselves, but not needed. They win the game. They win the match. They end the Invitational on a high note for themselves. And they looked really impressive. The squad came together and win it 3-1. A beautiful 4-game series. I mean, Hydra, how are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
I mean, what a way to finish it out. USC bringing it back from game 1, what looked like a rickety start, and they came and showed it for the next 3 games. I mean, that roster change, that communication, as you were saying, they probably felt way more in their element in game 2. The nerves definitely wore off a little bit there.
I mean, yeah, the team just came together beautifully. Everyone firing all cylinders. The circuit connected, and they came together beautifully. That said, that is oh no, I'm about to be sad here, but that is all of the Rocket League we have here for you all today. I have to give a big thank you to all of the teams, the audience, our production team who came together, made everything possible. You've been a fantastic audience. You've been fantastic teams. I have been honored to be here. I have been Archie Sleek Smith, joined here by Hydra. You've been a wonderful co-caster as well. Thank you for coming in and playing. But that is going to be it. Thank you all for tuning in to the Pac-U Rocket League Invitational. It's been wonderful, but all good things must come to an end. And so I bid you adieu.